going to be the end of the night. So YouTube is coming up, so we can go ahead and get started. User 744, you say, what type of TikTok content? Hey, Kamisha. So most of my content, right? Most of my content is about taxes, business, financial literacy kind of topics, right? But also sometimes I hold, as I call it, life church, right? So sometimes I hold like sessions or talk about life things, right? That happen in life experiences, situations, etc. So that's usually what I'm talking about on my channel, right? But last night I shared an experience that I had down here with you all while I was traveling for business. And so today I'm doing a part two because after I got on, let me put this phone over here so it's not looking like I'm talking in three different directions. All right, there we go. So, hey, Love Spell on YouTube, how are you? So pretty much what happened was, just to kind of recap, because of course, I don't know, like I said, I don't know who all was on here yesterday and who wasn't here when I shared my live. And it was around this time last night that I got on and did story time, right? Um, but in a nutshell, like I'm a business owner and I travel for business. And today's Thursday. So I flew into Palm Beach, Florida for a business meeting, for a business trip. Um, what does that say? Eyes on you beauty. Eyes on you beauty. Hey, um, oh Lord. Okay, user, I don't have time for all that extra stuff. So no, I don't do the hugs and all that. We're gonna block you because I ain't got time for that. It's some real weird people out here in the world, you all, literally. Um, but anyway, YouTubers, I didn't get a chance to get on and talk to y'all, but TikTok was therapy for me last night, right? So my TikTok users kind of already know what happened, what's kind of going on. So just to kind of recap, hey J Rod, Black Motivus, and Miss Shannon, how are you? So YouTubers, you guys really don't know what's going on. So to kind of get you caught up, I'm gonna do like a quick summary right now, right? Um I took a nap because I was completely tired. I was supposed to come on here and talk to you guys at like 7, 8 o'clock in the day, but it is what it is. I fell asleep. I needed that because it was a lot of draining of my energy yesterday. Um, and so long to the short, for those of you that are coming in and needed a recap, I needed to vent, didn't I, James? I promise. It was Chuck. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna just give you the heads up right now, Chuck. I had an incident that occurred down here. So I'm sharing it right now, but you and I can get on the phone later on tomorrow but I just want you to know I'm good, brother. All right? Because I know you're going to have something to say after you hear this. Because like I said, I didn't get on YouTube. I only talked to TikTok last night because I had my phone, and that's the only way that I could get on. Okay. Yeah, so Love Spill, I was not on YouTube. So today I decided to do YouTube because a second part happens today. And I needed you guys to see and understand like the overall picture. So YouTube, we're going to get you caught up real quick. TikTok knows and understands what's going on, but they just gonna hear it anyway, right? So long to the short, I had a friend that I knew for about 16, 17, 18 years. I can't remember. Minimum 16 years, right? Um, and we were talking, we reconnected recently, and we were talking about doing some business together, right? Down here in Palm Beach. And so I'm okay. I'm great, Chuck. I am great. I am great because I got a revelation last night as to why everything happens and why things move in the way that they do, right? Um, so I flew in here. So this is the thing, right? I had not seen this person in at least 8 years, at least, right? I known them for a minimum of 16, 17 years, right? But I haven't seen them physically in person, right? In at least 8 years. And this is the difference why I'm sharing this with you all, because a lot of times we say we know people just because we grew up with them or we met them at a certain point in our life. But if you don't have any like real day-to-day connection with these people, like years like that goes by, like 8 years, that's a long time, right? A lot can happen in 8 years for somebody. Their life can go up, their life could go down, like it can go all kind of ways. And people change as we grow and get older. People change, and everybody does not change for the better, right? So even though I knew this person as like a reputable business person, a reputable man, like I never ever had any kind of inkling that nothing like this would happen. Like I never, like I told TikTok yesterday, if I bet my money on this person, I would have lost. Because I would have bet that no, not this guy, like not that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody else, yeah, but not that one, right? So again, this is part of the reason why I'm sharing this whole incident and fiasco. But um we were talking and communicating because in the line of work that he does, he connects with certain people in the entertainment industry, right? And I have a non-for-profit company, and I've had it for 2 years, and I kind of put it to the back burner. But more recently, I've been getting, the urge and the inkling to like really put something together with this non-for-profit, because I just know it's needed, right? Especially dealing with the youth and the inner city kids that don't learn financial literacy. So my company is called Sense of Responsibility, right? And so reconnected, we reconnected on like Facebook or something, Messenger, like, hey, how are you? How you been? Whatever, blah, 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 right? Got to talking like, oh, okay, supposed to be doing these great things and have these different clients that they're representing and things like that. And I can get you in the room and you can have these conversations, blah, 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 right? So I get a call Monday night, like, hey, it's an opportunity to meet this person, and do you want to come down and fly out, right? So immediately, I jumped on it, because when it's business or something like that, you have to be ready, right? So literally the next day, that was Monday night. Tuesday night, I flew here. I flew to Palm Beach, Florida, to be able to sit down and have these different meetings, right? So meet with my old friend that night, right? We went out, had a couple of drinks, and then we ended up meeting again the next day, which was yesterday, which was last night, right? So last night we went out, and we were supposed to be going to, well, we did. We went to this Italian restaurant, right? And so this is kind of how everything started. When we get to the restaurant, and we sit down at the bar because we're waiting for our table, right? I did a reservation I reserved the table online. It was like 9 o'clock. We got there at 8 o'clock. So we had to sit at the bar until our stuff was ready. Two women were sitting on the side of us, and he's very what's the word I want to say? Like, he's a mingler. And no matter where we go, we walk in the room, he'll, hey, how you doing? What you doing? What you going on? Try to, talk and shake everybody's hand. That's just how he is, right? So I already knew the moment we sat down that he was going to be talking and mingling and engaging, right? So he's like, hey, what kind of drinks you want? Ordering up drinks and everything. So this is kind of how it all kicked off, right? So as we're getting ready for our table, after the drinks have already been ordered, the two young ladies got their drink. I got my drink. He has his drink. And as we're walking to the table, he leans over to me and he's like, hey, I left my wallet at your hotel, because we had stopped here. Well, he had came here first. And then we had hung out a little bit, and then we went out, right? So he had left his bag here, but he thought he brought his bag with him. So he says, right? But he had left his bag here. So he's like, Can you cover that? Now, again, I'm a business owner. So I know how it is when you out and when you mingling, but when I'm with a man and a man is out and offering and buying up drinks for other people, that man usually covers that tab, correct? Like that man doesn't lean. I've never seen a man lean over and say, "Hey, you got that for me?" You get what I'm saying? So, um, it's like, okay, all right, okay. So again, I am thinking of the old person who I know, right? Who is a business professional, who handles his stuff. If he said he got me, he got me, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna trip, but I ain't gonna lie. I did. I ain't gonna lie. I did. I had the attitude look on my face because that to me, you should have said that when you walked in the door. That's not a conversation that you have with me after you've already bought the drinks. You get what I'm saying? So and then I'm also share something else after this, right? Which again is signs and symbols, right? So went on close the tab out at the bar because again I'm in an upscale Italian restaurant, right? I'm not trying to make a scene. I'm not. You get what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. I'm a business owner. I'm gonna write this off as a tax write off anyway. If he don't pay me back, I'm not tripping. It is what it is. This is just part. This is how I'm thinking. This is just part of doing business with this for this night, right? So then one of their friends comes in. So one of their friends come in. Now I'm gonna just share. These are two white women because the whole place is majority white. I think we are the only two black people in the entire restaurant. I'm gonna admit that, right? So the first two ladies are white. Then the other lady comes in, which is a friend of theirs. No problem. This is where I had the problem. So as we're walking to the table, and like I said, he had to share with me, can you grab that? Then the friend comes in, he goes back over there and says, oh, get her a drink. Get her a drink. Make sure she has a drink. Oh, and make sure she eats too. She eats. She's tall, slim, like modelist. So he comes over and he's like, yeah, she would be great for the agency. I'm gonna see if I can get her in with the agency and she can model or do something like that. So I'm at this point, that's when I told him, nah. Like you don't have your card, you're not gonna be able to buy her no drink or a meal. I'm not covering that. I already did the first two. Like, nah, you out, right? You could get back to the hotel to go get your bag at that point, right? So, y'all, the dude got so mad. This how I knew, like, this ain't who I knew 8 years ago, right? So the mom flipped out literally like at the restaurant, like came back 3-4 different times into the restaurant, like so the first thing was yes. Yes, this is what I did, right? So I looked at him, I was like, yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. Like if you buy her drink, you're gonna end up on the tab, right? so, so he leaves and walks away. Then he comes back and he's like, you could charge that to the game. That's part of the fee for the $1 million deal you about to do. So I'm like, dude, one, I'm not paying no fees for no deal that you haven't even sat me down with, right? The meeting that we had yesterday was with an older couple, two older couples at brunch, right? They're millionaires, but that wasn't like no $1 million deal meeting. That wasn't the person who I'm supposed to come here to meet, right? To talk about this event that I'm trying to do, right? So I'm like, so one, when he said that, I knew immediately like he was whack as shit. He was the wackest person that I had reconnected with in 8 years. Cause I was like, yeah, you not doing none of the stuff that you claim you're doing. Like you are not on no kind of level at all. Right. And I should have realized some of that yesterday, not yesterday, because I got here Tuesday. So when I saw him Tuesday, he looked a little scruffy, right? Less scruffy than he normally looks. Cause normally he wears like a nice suit, a tie, like, you know what I'm saying? He had always been professional in business. Tuesday, he looked scruffy as hell. So I'm like, okay, it's late. It's 9-10 o'clock at night. I'm just getting off the plane. Maybe he just relaxing a day, right? But then when we met the next day to hang out, it was kind of scruffy looking too, like some jeans and a little kind of wrinkled polo. So I'm looking at him. I'm like, okay, so you want to go here, whatever, long to the short, right? So the mob comes back to the table, and that's when he says, like, you tripping off $70, and you could charge that to the game and this. And I'm like, dude, you trying to bill somebody for such shit you haven't even presented. I'm like, and for one, you haven't done shit for me. I flew out here, paid for my own flight, paid for my own hotel room, my own rental car. I'm out here on business. You get what I'm saying? I asked you for $1. Yet you're here at the restaurant trying to buy up drinks for other people and you don't even have any money. Like, who does that? Right? So the way that he flipped out, that's what took me, because it was like, okay, even if he felt that way, cool. You could have just left. The mom left, then came back in the restaurant again, y'all, to my table. Then was like, I'm the mayor of this town. This is my city. Cancel her order. So now he's talking to my waiter. He's telling my waiter to cancel her order, cancel her order, cancel her order, cash her out. So I turned around and I said to the waiter, you do know that this reservation is in my name, right? So this is my table. So I don't know what he yelling about. And so the waiter was like, oh yes, for sure, ma'am. If this is your order and this is your reservation, and this is definitely your table. And so he was like, don't worry, we haven't canceled anything. We'll bring your food right out. At this time, I'm embarrassed because the whole restaurant is looking at us at this point. You get what I'm saying? Like, dude, keep coming back in here. Like, he was gone for 5 minutes. Then, so now this is the second time he come back to the table, and now he's ranting again. And he's like, this is some petty shit. Like, you just came and ruined the whole night all over some petty shit. This some petty ass shit. Like, that's some ghetto petty ass shit. So I'm being calm and cool, y'all. I'm at the restaurant. I'm sipping. I'm literally drinking like this. Like, I'm having my bottle of wine. I'm like ignoring him. Like, I'm not even really talking to him because he keeps on coming back. So I'm like not trying to give him no kind of energy, right? So he leaves again. Then he comes back a third time. This is when the employees of the restaurant decided to come in at this point, because it's like, now you harassing, right? So now 3 waiters come over and they asking me like, are you okay? The female waitress is like, look, I don't like his energy. He's very aggressive towards you. So I asked the manager to not allow him back in. He has to stay outside. But the way the restaurant is, it's open where we were sitting. So like literally you can come right in off the street and come to my table. And that's what he kept doing. They kept putting him out the front door and he would walk around and just come in and walk and come stand right at my table again. So he remember last night TikTok, I told y'all I couldn't remember if he did it for like 3 or 4 times. No, it was 4 times. So he came back the 4th time, right? So when he came back the 4th time, that's when I actually snapped back, because the mob had the nerve to tell me, I forgot what he said to me, but he said something like that was totally out of pocket. Like, I was like, you sitting here. I'm like, first of all, this, I'm not talking to you. I'm done with you. You said you wanted to leave. You were good. You were done. You were good. This your town. This your city. Move around. Like, I'm good. I'll pay for my meal just like I've paid for everything else tonight. I'm good, right? So he didn't have a vehicle. He rode there with me. You get what I'm saying? He thought he had his bag. He didn't have his bag. So then at that point, I started understanding why the food kept coming in and bothering me at this point, right? So once the food came, I just asked him to wrap my food up, because at this point, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable sitting here in this restaurant with all these freaking people who see this whole scene, right? I don't even want to eat here at this point. So I took my spaghetti and meatball to go, right? So as I'm leaving out, because I walked right out the front door with my head held high with dignity, because I didn't do anything, right? I know that I didn't do anything. Get outside, and who is that valet? Talking to the valet guys, right? And these are the only men that he can find that would agree with him on something. So he's talking to them, right? He's sharing his situation with them. Like, this is the young lady that I was talking about. Make sure that you get her car. But then in the same sentence, you go over there and you tell them, oh, I'm from Chicago. I'm ghetto. This isn't the type of stuff that they do down here in Palm Beach. This is something that Chicagoans do. And I'm like, okay, I didn't say anything. I'm just, again, being very humble, because this here, I've told y'all last night, I was proud of myself for this moment and not feeding into it and responding back. It was nothing to respond to. The energy was dead. That was it, right? So he's telling the guy, like, hey, when you pull her car up, open up the trunk so I could get my bag. Open up the trunk so I could get my bag, right? So now, when I knew he didn't have no bag in the trunk, right? So now when they pull up and the guy opens the trunk, he's like, sir, there's no bag here. So the dude, I told them last night on TikTok, the facial expression that fool had was priceless. It was priceless, because now he was stutter stepping. He was stutter stepping, like, he come walking over to my door. I thought my bag was here in your trunk. Can I possibly get a ride to the hotel? No, you cannot get a ride to the hotel. I can either leave your bag at the front desk of the hotel, or I'll come back here and drop it off to you at the restaurant. So he was like, well, that really doesn't work for me. Well, I don't really give a shit what works for you. Those are your two options, right? So I went to my hotel, came and grabbed the bag, because that's literally all he had was the bag, right? And took it right back to the restaurant. The restaurant was like 5-6 minutes away. So literally, y'all, as I'm pulling up, I put the bag out the window. I barely stopped, like literally barely put my foot on the brake, put the bag out the window. He grabbed the bag and I pulled the hell off and I left and I came. So last night when I was on TikTok, I told y'all something like told me to go to the water. Right? Because I told y'all when I come to Florida, I love the water. I always come to the water. I usually stay on the water. That's why I was mad, because I'm like, I don't even stay at this DoubleTree. I normally stay at the one that's on the water. So at least I could have talked to God last night and got all my frustration out. But y'all was my friend last night, TikTok. Right? So I was like, this is, ugh. I'm like, oh, Lord. So as I'm leaving the restaurant, I'm getting this feeling, right? I'm listening and I see the water. So I immediately was told, well, like, pull over. So I pull over and I park. And I had my little smoke and I got on TikTok. And I ended up being on TikTok for a little over 3 hours with y'all. When I cut that live off last night, that live was like a little over 3 hours. All right. So now those of you on YouTube, y'all done got caught up, right? She said I would have set that bag on fire. Because this is the thing too, y'all. This is the thing. I knew this man. Like, it wasn't like he was a stranger. You get what I'm saying? So in a way, even though he did that, I still was trying to give him grace. I still was trying to give him grace. That's the term that I learned last night when I really thought about it. When this epiphany happened, that's why I'm doing part 2. Because I talked to y'all last night, but something else happened after that. That's why I'm talking to y'all and saying this part 2, right? Chuck, I know you proud of me. I'm proud of me also, Chuck. I promise. It was like, because I also shared yesterday too, like the red flag. Like immediately when I heard him talking to people, his energy, it was so mean and nasty and negative. Like I had never heard him talk to people like that before. And it was so degrading, like so mean and so nasty and unnecessary. And I'm like, I'm listening to it. I'm listening. I'm like, this energy. And then the energy when he was in my room, it just was different. Like it just was a cold, negative kind of energy feeling, right? And so I'm like, ugh. Hold on, y'all, real quick. I gotta block somebody that's on here. We don't have time for no mess. All right. So he definitely is going through something. He definitely is going through something. And that's why I said at the end of the day, I'm giving him grace, right? That was his grace. Because at that point, I didn't care. This your city, right? That's like if somebody dropped me off in Chicago and pull off on me. If I'm at home, I should be good. I should be good. I should be able to call a ride or call somebody, right? So this your city, you the mayor, you running here. I'm gonna drop you off at this restaurant and let you figure it out, especially after you was talking crazy. How can you think it's okay to get in somebody's car after you talk crazy and you got put out the restaurant? You embarrassed us in the restaurant. Like, who does that? And you never once said Uber is 24 hours. Exactly. But that's the other thing. That's what I got to learn to see too. The phone was jacked up and cracked up. The phone was like a 6 or a 7. You supposed to be this $1 million dealer, a $1 million dealer, not walking around with no 6 or 7 cracked up iPhone that you can barely use or use, because you using my phone to call everybody. Like, so again, that showed me like, okay. And so, see, for me, the whole reason why I wanted to come down here was because I have learned that in business, people on the phone will give you their best insight, their best, right? But I need to see where you at in life. I need to see the business. I need to see the boardroom. I need to see the $1 million. You get what I'm saying? This $1 million vision that you say that you have back from. Because we both had businesses and started out with our businesses very early on in our careers. So, he was like, yeah, I seen you on YouTube. I know you, you had that whole viral thing going on. Like, I'm proud of you. Like, the other night we was cool. We was kicking and giving each other accolades. But like I said, once yesterday kicked in and I got to see, like, you don't have an office down here. You're not handling business like you're saying that you're doing. You get what I'm saying? Like, none of the stuff that he was saying was adding up and matching up. So for me, that was a part of the reason for me to come down here, because I needed to see what was really going on, what was really happening. You get what I'm saying? So the other thing that I wanted to say was the energy. Like, again, his energy was so off. It was so off. I really, really feel like he is like bipolar and has like was not on medication. Dead ass. Like, after I really thought about it, because also, y'all, I found some like doctors or hospital papers in my trunk. I mean, in on my couch. So they was right under the bag. So I put them in the bag. I didn't go all through them, but I could tell that they was like hospital papers. So I'm like, okay, yeah, he got some stuff going on, right? But a lot of people, and this is what I say all the time, like, a lot of people tend to swindle, yes, all that kind of stuff. Anna, who y'all saying, the Anna girl from, like, all of this. This is the vibes that he was giving off. Like, the conversations that he was having with people, either he was apologizing to them for acting up and acting crazy, or he was talking to them crazy. It was one of them two conversations. It was rare that he was having like a real business conversation talking about business. He maybe talked to like 2 or 3 people. And of course, because I'm sitting here, he want to throw in my name and my company and some other stuff. But I'm like, again, I'm hearing, right? I'm taking it all in. So when all the stuff snapped at the restaurant, that was like my epiphany of like, okay, yeah, this, you got to take out of the person that you knew 16 years ago. That's not this person. Like, this person is gone at that point. You get what I'm saying? Shannon says so. He says he's the mayor of what city, Patrice? Girl, Palm Beach down here. He say he run Palm Beach. This is where he was born and raised, right? So that's why I'm like, okay, Mayor, since you got so much down here, then you figure it out. I'm going back to my hotel. So let's get back to the story. So this was the part. When, instead of me going back to the hotel, God led me to the water, right? So I went to the water, and that's when I ended up talking to all of you all on TikTok for 3 hours. What was that TikTok? It was like 2 in the morning when I finally got in my car, and I was like, let me get ready to drive back to the hotel. All right, so this is where part 2 kicks in. I drive back to the hotel. I pull up to the hotel. I park in the back parking lot, and I park along the very back, and I pull in. I back in so I could see everybody around me and who's coming in. Right now, I sat in that car, y'all, another hour and a half after I got off the phone with y'all at TikTok. So I didn't walk into that hotel until 3:30 in the morning. All right. This is where I wanted to talk to you about how God really works. Remember when I talked to y'all last night and I was telling y'all how God covers me no matter what situation I'm in? He always covers and protects me. And even in that situation with me being in the restaurant and me being humble and me not acting up, not responding, right? Not reacting to his thing, I responded versus reacted. We talked about that, responding versus reacting. So I didn't react to his outburst and and his the way he was communicating with me. I simply responded, but I was very calm with it, right? All of that. I'm listening. I'm like listening in the back of my mind, right? Because God is literally talking to me in the back of my mind, like, chill, be cool, don't trip, right? Get your food, do what you need to do. But everything I told y'all, even when he came to the door and we came to my car, I didn't move. I didn't change my face. I had my hand on the steering wheel. I'm like, yes, no, no, I will not be doing that. I'll drop your bag back off. And I'm saying, stuff like that. Like I was not interacting or responding to none of that energy, right? So I get back to the hotel, y'all. I literally sat in the car another hour and a half. I'm literally in the car because I smoke. And I realized I was like, I'm tired. Like, but man, something won't let me go in. So I sit there maybe like another 10 minutes, y'all. And I walk into oh no, this is what I want to share with you first. So I had just had my key card to get in the room. All of a sudden, I can't find it, right? I'm looking around. I tore the whole car up. Tore the whole car up trying to find the key card. I'm like, I just had the key card. I had the key card because thankfully, when we were on our way to the restaurant, somehow he had my key card in his hand. But on the way to the restaurant, he laid it down and I grabbed it and I put it in my pocket. And then, of course, when we went to the restaurant, I did valet. So it was my rental car, but he was driving to the restaurant. So we did valet, and the valet ended up giving me the ticket, the yellow ticket. So now I had control back of my card to my hotel room and my vehicle, right? So that's why everything kind of played out with that, with the leaving, right? With the trunk issue and all that, and then me having to come back and bring his bag. But I walk into the hotel, and now I don't have my key card for some reason. The key card that I know that I had. So now what does that mean? I have to go to the front desk at this point and ask them for another key because I can't find mine, even though I know I just saw it, right? I get to the front desk and I tell the young lady, I say, hey, I can't find my key card. I need you. So she said, what's your room? I tell her my room and my name. And she says, you're the lady. I said, he came. He came back here. Y'all, he came back to my hotel. He walked from the restaurant to my hotel, y'all, and made a complete scene. They had to call the police and escort him from the premises. They said the police just pulled off 10 minutes prior to me walking in. Come on here, God. I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills. That is the reason why I was led to the water to talk to y'all for 3 hours. That is also the reason I was led to sit in the parking lot. I'm at the hotel. I'm at the hotel. I'm in the parking lot for 1.5 hours. The man is in the hotel acting a plum fool. I don't need none of that energy. I don't need none of that BS. I didn't come down here for that. God did not allow me to walk into that. Do you see that? Do you see and understand why I was praising him last night to y'all on TikTok? I told y'all that man covers me no matter where I go. No, he was not a date. He was not a date. We dated 12 years ago. You get what I'm saying? But we always remained friends. We talked a little bit. We always lived in a different state, but we always was business owners, right? So we always remained friends. That's what it was. But it wasn't a date. No, none of that. We didn't kiss, hug, none of that stuff, right? It was not a date. But my thing is, when the girl told me that, I started praising in the front lobby. Like she couldn't understand why I just started screaming, "Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God." I'm literally in the lobby screaming, "Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God." My internet. It's my internet if I'm freezing, y'all. I'm literally screaming in the lobby, "Thank you, God. Thank you, God." Right? And I'm sitting here like, now I get it. Now I understand. Because I was in there. Okay, y'all keep saying this live is freezing. Let me see if I can get on Wi-Fi. All right, TikTok. I'm trying to get on Wi-Fi. See if that helps. But this was my thing. Like, if it freezes up again, let me know. Or you're gonna have to go on YouTube because I'm on my phone right now for TikTok. Right? No, I know YouTube, y'all good. That's TikTok that's telling me that. But this was the thing. I promise I was on TikTok and I was venting, right? I was telling them what was going on. And I'm like, I came out here on the water. I love the water. So I was sitting there on the water. Then we left. TikTok watched me get in my car and go back to my hotel. But then I literally parked in the back parking lot for 1.5 hours. I'm sitting there in the parking lot for 90 minutes, pretty much. And I'm like, unknowingly, why something is holding me back from going into this hotel. It's like I could feel being held back. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, just wait, just keep waiting, just keep waiting. Then the moment that he told me that it was okay, I got out of my car and I walked in. But when the girl told me that, y'all, that was like the epiphany moment for me in that night. Because I'm sitting here like, y'all know I'm from Chicago. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the people in the restaurant, they didn't understand. Because they of course, they're women. You get what I'm saying? They're women and they're men, and they're seeing this he's 6'5, 6'4, 6'5, like 230, 240, right? They see this aggressive man keep coming at my table. I'm not scared. I was never once scared of him because I done fought men before. So I ain't scared of no Negro. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I don't have to have that I gotta fight everybody kind of energy. Now I'm at the point where God got me. He gonna hit back for me. He gonna punch back for me. You get what I'm saying? And somebody posted that today too. Like, God, I used to feel like I had to punch back, but God punches greater. And that's so true. Like, God punch is so much greater. I didn't have to do nothing. I literally in those moments through that whole night, I didn't do nothing. Everything was done for me, right? The blocking was done for me. The 3 waiters who came up and said, "Nah, we not with this. Dude can't come in here no more." I didn't ask for no help. I didn't ask nobody. You get what I'm saying? God did that. Then you ended up leaving your stuff, and you couldn't get access to my car because, of course, if they would have gave him the keys, that would have been a whole nother other issue with me trying to get my car keys from him, and then we going back and forth. You get what I'm saying? Like, he blocked that. Nope. We gave you the valet ticket. The valet dude gonna give you your keys and come back and give you the car, right? So all of the situations, he allowed it to play out, but it worked out in my favor. So then when I come back to the freaking hotel, y'all, and I'm sitting downstairs, I'm smoking my blunt. I'm sitting here like, why am I still sitting in this damn car? Right? I'm like, why am I still sitting in this damn car? But it was like a hold on me, like, no, sit still, baby girl, sit still. And I promise y'all, when that girl told me that the man literally just got escorted out. Now, I didn't see none of this sitting in that back lot. I didn't see no police cars coming through. Of course, if he walked, I didn't see him because It's like a very small entrance, but I didn't see nothing. It's like I was sitting there and I was in a dark room just waiting in a space. He had me covered and protected in this little room. And then he said, "All right, now go ahead and go up." Like he God, that's all I could say is thank you, God. I've been thanking God all day, all morning, all freaking day, because I'm like, now I see it clearly. After and I ain't gonna lie, y'all. After I got off TikTok with y'all, I kind of had a feeling because he was messaging me on Facebook and he was sending me all these crazy messages like this. Like he does. He has the problem. I really feel like he has medication and he's not on his medication because the way that he is acting is like schizophrenia or something, like somebody who's bipolar that just goes from 0 to 1,000 real quick, right? And the stuff that he was saying, it just was like extra ignorant and ghetto. I'm not even going to repeat half of the stuff that he was saying to me in the messenger. So I just blocked and deleted him, right? Blocked and deleted him on Instagram, blocked and deleted him on my email. I just blocked and deleted everything. And then the young lady who was there last night, she ended up calling my room before she left, and she was like, "Hey, I just wanted you to know that we put notes on file. If he ever walks into this hotel again, he's been banned from this hotel. All this other stuff." And I'm just sitting here like, this is crazy because again, the person that I knew 16 years ago or even 8 years ago, I would never. You would never tell me that this particular person is who I'm talking about right now. It's like it's two totally different people. So the moral of the story is not just from a personal standpoint, but also from a standpoint of like business, right? Just because you know somebody from the past, don't immediately assume that they still doing good business. Because that's to me, like I felt like, okay, I spent almost $2,000 coming down here at the last minute, right? But I would rather spend $2,000 today on my flight, my hotel, my rental car, than possibly have getting into something else in business with him and more money being tied up. You get what I'm saying? So none of this was a loss. At first, I was like, oh, this was a waste. This was this was that. But literally, this was really a lesson. This was a very big lesson, but also I was covered during this lesson. You get what I'm saying? It was definitely a lesson that I needed because if I'm planning on moving down here and being down here and connecting with people, I'm very big on energy and vibe and truth. You can't lie, pick it, right? So in less than 24 hours, I was able to see that he really wasn't on what he said he was on. He really didn't have the connections that he said he had. He really wasn't in the place that he said he was. You get what I'm saying? So it's different when you see people in their real element and environment, which is another reason why I always come on here and talk to y'all from a real person perspective. Yes, by day, I'm a tax and business strategist, but I am also a real human being. I am also a person that has life experiences and goes through life. And I'm not going to sit on here and get on this internet and act like I'm holier than thou. I've never been through nothing. This again why I shared some of my life story with y'all last night on TikTok on kind of how I became who I am and what made me me. Because that's what y'all get. Y'all get a bunch of people that put this mask on every day, and majority of these people are not who they say they are. A lot of people lie to kick it, right? They lie to get in the room. They lie to do whatever. But people hate the fact that I'm genuinely me. Like I will openly tell you, I curse. I also talk about God and I love God. I also smoke me a little green. I mean, if that bothers you, it is what it is. But I also know how to go to the boardroom and have a whole conversation with a VIP or a CEO, and I can be very professional. But I can also go to the hood and throw some kicks on and talk shit with the people. You get what I'm saying? So that is what makes me me. I'm book smart and I'm street smart. But a lot of people cannot be honest with themselves with where they at. And that's what I guess a little bit for me, I was with him like, dude, we always been cool. If you was like over what was the word somebody said last night on here? Overextended, right? Because this is again what happens sometimes in business. When you are in business, sometimes you invest into people or things and you overextend yourself. Again, I feel like that could be where he was at. He's overextended, right? But instead of getting overextended, over leveraged, still mean broke. True, true. It does. At the end of the day, it is what it is, right? But it happens again because I'm a business owner. There's certain things that I know and understand about business. And sometimes a lot of people do in business fake it until they make it, right? They'll overextend themselves until they get that next 50,000 or $100,000 deal, and then they cool again, right? And of course, being in the profession that he is, when you're dealing with contracts and assignments and stuff, then I learned too, he's not really practicing anymore. Like he shared that in a conversation. Like I'm kind of more the CEO of things. I'm not really practicing anymore. So what happened with your law degree? Like what happened? You get what I'm saying? Like so much happened in this man's life in this 8 years that I have no clue about. But at this point, it's not on me to even try to have no clue about. I feel like that's what God came down here to show me down here. Like, look, you needed to see what you need to see. Now it's time to get your butt on back home. No, let me say this. Those of y'all who was on my 5-day tax challenge, I'm going to meet Gary. So Gary is in southern Florida, South Florida, a little further down. So in the morning, I'm going to meet with him. So I'm not going to make this trip like nothing productive, right? I'm going to go sit down with Gary, both Garys, and then start my paperwork with getting my company structure and all that stuff together because my flight doesn't leave until like 7 p.m. tomorrow. So I'm going to go down to Gary's office for probably like 3-4 hours and get some business stuff done with that while I'm down here. I might as well, right? But at the end of the day, after all of that, because last night I wasn't mad. Like I was not mad. I was really more I was really more like frustrated, y'all. I feel like I was venting. I was really more frustrated about the situation and then how it really went, how everything kind of played out. And then just really, I guess, with the outburst, right? That was really more of what really kind of threw me off. But then once I was out of that situation and that energy was away from me, I was good. I was good. I was on the water. I was talking to y'all. I was good. I had my moment. I was good though. Right. So I've never been mad or upset through none of this. It really was more like when I confronted him about it, that's when everything happened. That's when the light switched for him. And exactly, that's a good word, JMO. I was disappointed. I was really disappointed because I did not expect that from him. Right. And that's the thing. This is another thing what shows me in life. Like you can't put all these expectations on people like people ain't gonna change. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, if you would have told me and I had to bet my money, I would never have bet my money. I would have lost this one. I would have completely lost because I'm like, it's no way. But the energy, it was such a negative dark force of energy on him and around him. And the moment I got away from that, it's like my whole day just brightened up last night. And even in that moment of last night, when the ladies had shared with me like the way he was acting, and can I share something with y'all? I just got to share something with y'all. This is how I know that that's not the man that I knew. I really do feel like he has some mental issues that he's dealing with right now. And I prayed for him. I did. I prayed for him last night. Because when the man came here, y'all, and he kept trying to get up to the room, and the girl said she said I saw him with you, but I knew he wasn't, with you because you didn't like most people when they have a room and they're together, they're at the other person's name on to the room. And she said, I looked at the notes, you didn't have anything on any other guest on your room. And so we wouldn't allow him up. And he was really upset. And so she said, we called the police. And when the police came, they kept asking him what is what is no, that's what I'm saying. I do really feel like, because I saw some medical papers there. Like I said, I didn't read and go all through his stuff, but I saw some like medical papers with some prescriptions and all that other stuff. Like that wasn't right. That's not my job. Right. That's why I'm like, my job was just to allow that grace, right? And to get away from him. But the girl at the front desk, yes, she did, baby. I tipped up well. I told her, hey, I appreciate that. When I said my name, she was like, the crazy part is he did all of that and you was never really in the room. Like, you never was in the room. She said, I thought you maybe just had on do not disturb and you didn't answer, but she actually sent the police up. She was like, because he just kept going so crazy that they actually sent the police upstairs to knock on my door and I didn't answer the police. But that was why, because I told her, well, I was in the parking lot the whole time. I was here physically, but I was in another area of the hotel. Like God said, okay, you could come back to the hotel to be safe, but I'm gonna park you right here in this little spot and I'll let you come out 10 minutes after, right? Because when she said that, it was like, when she said 10 minutes, I ain't gonna lie, I almost cried because I was like, that ain't nothing but God, baby. That ain't nothing but God covered me. And she couldn't believe it. She was like, you have been sitting in this parking lot a whole hour and a half. I said, yes, I have. I have been at this hotel for the last hour and a half in the parking lot, sitting in the car. And she couldn't believe it. She said, girl, literally, like less than 10 minutes, they just left and walked him out. I said, girl, girl. She said, she said, because she's like, I don't know what. I said, no, I know what. That's God covering, baby. You better honor that man when something like this come across you, when you see and experience something like this in your life. You keep on talking about you don't know what, you don't know what. I know what. Oh, that's the Holy Ghost. That's the Holy Father that covered me, because ain't no way. I've been here an hour and a half. I was supposed to walk right into that disaster. Do y'all know mentally, again, I'm from Chicago. So do you know mentally, after dealing with that issue with him at the restaurant, I could have snapped. We could have got into a fight down there. I would have bust him up. He would have bust me up. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't need that. I'm a business owner. I'm in a different walk of life for calling. I don't need to be going and being put in that type of situation. It was already ignorant and embarrassing to have to go through that at the restaurant. That's why I had to keep my cool there. Like, no, you are a lady. Remember what we always trying to say, right? Me and I was talking crap about us females who make our own money and do this. I was like, let me remain in my feminine energy, right? I was like, let me remain in my feminine energy. Do not give him any aggression. Just sit here like the lady that you are, right? And stuff got taken care of. I didn't have to be the aggressor. I didn't have to protect myself in this particular time. Right. And so then walking to this hotel, I felt even more protected. I felt even more protected for that girl to tell me, we just put this man out 10 minutes ago. Like the police literally left. Who does that? Like, what in the heck? You get like, I'm like, this man has lost. Oh, so that's what I was telling y'all. So do y'all know that the man told the police that when that police was asking him, what is it that she has in your room? Like that you have in her room? What is this? Do y'all know this man had the nerve to tell them she has my blunt? She has my blunt and she has my charger. I did not have his charger and I did not have his blunt because technically that was mine. I bought that and rolled it. So that wasn't yours. That was mine, sir. But she was like, girl, when he said that to the police, I could not believe it. She said, yeah, can y'all escort this man up out of here? Because, and the police was like, sir, we are not going to that woman's room to ask for a blunt. And that's how I know it's a mental issue because She said, he was like, that's mine. I'm going to get what's mine. If I have to get my legal team, and my legal team will be here, and my legal team would do this, and my legal team would do that. I said, yeah, baby has lost his marbles. I think what happened, this is what I think. He hit a roadblock in his business some years ago. Because even when I saw him 7 or 8 years ago when he came to Chicago, he stayed in my house and slept on my couch for a week because he was going through some things in business. His money wasn't right. So whatever happened in these last years, he still has not gotten that up. Girl, she'd say, how much was that blood? Girl, I don't know. Woo! That's what made me laugh. That's why I had to tell y'all that. I don't want y'all to be so serious and blaming him and hurt and cuss, and focus on him. We got to have a little light and laugh to this too. You know what I'm saying? So, the man told them, that is my blunt. I'm going to get what I deserve. Well, I'll be upset too if I ain't had no blunt. So this is the thing, y'all. This is the other thing when you act up. Because look, y'all. This is the other thing. I gave him the blunt, but I hid it in his bag so he couldn't find it. He could smell it probably, but he couldn't find it. So you came all the way to my hotel and acted a plum fool. And all the time, you had one in your bag, dummy. I was still nice after all that. When I grabbed his bag, I said, you know what? He gonna be mad that I'm gonna ride off with him. I'm gonna leave him this because he gonna need this to walk around Palm Beach since he the mayor and whoever he gonna have come pick him up. Maybe he need to smoke a little bit and get his mind together. So I put him the blunt in there, but I hid it in the bag. I wrapped it up in something and I hid it. It ain't my fault that you couldn't find it. So now you're gonna come to my hotel room acting a damn fool like an addict, right? Like I've seen crackheads do stuff like that, right? But you did. I'm like, I know that's that Chicago stuff, baby. But everybody don't know. Everybody don't know how to handle it. I don't know. But the moral of the story is, you get what I'm saying? The moral of the story here is when you do good and when you really are truly genuine and you are, as I told y'all, I give God his glory, right? I give God his glory. I am protected. I know that. I speak it. I walk in it. I don't fear no man. I don't walk around in fear. That's why I would go to any state, city by myself. I'm good because I'm protected. But he really showed me last night how much I was protected. Like I knew I was protected, right? But then you get that extra confirmation and you be walking around like, oh, I'm a child of God, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like everything that happened needed to happen. It needed to be shown. You know what I'm saying? It needed to be shown. It needed to be shown and seen. A lot of people are. No, I know. Queen says a lot of lawyers are functional alcoholics and drug addicts. A lot of people are. And that's what I'm saying, especially in that sports and entertainment world, life is very big with being, addicted to pills, coke, all type of stuff. So yeah, it truly is. And again, that's not on me to decipher or decide. I'm not in that man's life from day to day. But I wanted to see if I'm going to put my name in with him and be a part of his business or even me be a part of his. I needed to see for myself where he was at, right? And what actually you were doing down here. And that wasn't it. So I would rather have spent this money to come down here now and go through this than did a deal with him and he flip out on some client or the money didn't come through or I've invested something. You get what I'm saying? So it's always a lesson in the situation. And then to a point, it's always some signs and symbols because like I said, the very first day, the signs and the symbols for me were his aura, his dark energy, how he was talking to people on the phone, how the people that he did have to communicate with he was apologizing to most of them for having some kind of outburst or having some kind of misunderstanding, right? And so I said, okay, this is like the third person you on the phone with apologizing to. Like, you don't, what you doing that you got to keep apologizing to people. And now I see, because now I'm one of them people. Oh, Bessie gonna come in however many months, a year, 6 months later, and try to apologize. And I'm gonna sound just like them people were sounding on the phone, very dry. Okay, thank you for the apology. Have a great life, kind of. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hearing that. I got to hear that while we were here in my hotel room hanging out earlier in the day, right? I got to hear these different conversations. So again, that was showing me and allowing me to be able to see what was really going on. You got to pay attention to the signs and the symbols. You got to pay attention to the signs and the symbols, because it's always signs and symbols. It's always signs and symbols before the whole madness flip out, right? Before the whole thing show you before they show you their whole head, they always show you the signs and the symbols first. You always get a glimpse of the signs and the symbols. You just have to pay attention to them and be aware of them, right? And so that was it. Because like I said, now the energy in my hotel room, my space, I'm good. It's like I'm good. It's like a weight was lifted off of my shoulder, because I'm like, ugh. Because the first night he was here, he ended up like, that's what he said. He was like, because I have a couch right here, so I have like a little suite. So he was like, man, can I just lay out on your couch? And, because then we moving around. So then he slept on my couch not last night, the night before last, Tuesday night. And that's when I realized, and then I'm like, you got this little bag. Where's the rest of your stuff? Like, where's your crib? Like, you got a whole crib. You're not going home. I didn't ask none of that though, right? I'm just paying attention. And then that's what I said yesterday. For you to come back to my hotel room, where's your house? Where's your home? Where's your stuff? If you the mayor down here and you got everything going on down here, where is all your stuff? So again, that's why I said I had to come and see that. I had to come and see this, so I'm not wasting no more time here. No more time and energy in this conversation with doing these fake ass deals that's not going to happen. Yeah. That's what I said. I'm definitely giving, it's definitely giving squatter vibes. Yeah, he's there. Yeah. I just watched Worst Roommate Ever, and it's like you're describing this dude from the documentary. I saw that come across the TV screen, the Worst Roommate Ever. That's a new like series that they have out, right? I mean, you could be a squatter in the hotel if you know somebody staying here in the hotel for a couple of days. Because that's what I saw him. He was like, okay, you're going to be here the Friday, Thursday, Saturday. I'm like, okay, I hope you don't think you're sleeping on my couch every day. But that got nipped in the bud real quick yesterday, because God didn't even allow the other, 2 days, today and tomorrow. I got to experience Tuesday night with him, and then the shit hit the fan yesterday, Wednesday. So that was it. You say under a bridge, probably. Yeah, forgiveness has already been done. I don't have any ill will or anything towards him. It is what it is. I did all that last night when I talked to God about it. The forgiveness part is already done. That's why I say I gave him grace. I gave him a lot of grace. Because that's not on me to decipher what he got going on. When I leave and fly back here tomorrow to Chicago to my regular life, that's my regular life. That's not for me to decipher what he got going on down here. I just know it's not what I want. It's not no business involved in it. You know, Kim, I don't know because when I got to my hotel, guess who was already here? He was already here in the lobby. So I thought he drove here. I didn't know that he didn't have a vehicle, right? So I thought he drove here because again, he lives here, right? So you should have your own. I mean, that's what he was saying yesterday. Like the way it is, you don't have to have a car, right? A lot of people don't have a car. It's nice. Most people walking out, they condo, they on the water, they just walking through these nice little neighborhoods. They got the food and all that, like right in the downtown off the water. So you don't have to have a car living here. I understand that. A lot of people in Florida don't have a car. So that again wasn't the issue. It was more of I knew that he didn't have it together when once we separated at the restaurant and he had the outburst and he got his bag back, that he ended up coming back to my hotel. That's when I knew it was a problem. Because if you had a place to stay, you would have went home. Right? You wouldn't come back to somebody who's staying here's hotel for one blunt. No. You would have went home and smoked however much you wanted to smoke freely and talked about me the rest of your night. Like that's what you would have did. But that's not what happened. So say he tried it. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't do all of that because I knew this person from 16 years ago. This isn't like somebody that I just met off the internet and, oh, we're going to start doing business, right? That's again the difference why I'm saying you want to, you want to always reevaluate even the people who you know in life, right? Because that's what I'm saying. 16 years ago, I would have never, 8 years ago, whenever I saw him, I can't remember when I saw him. He came to Chicago either 7 or 8 years ago. It had to be at least 8 years ago because he did not come no time while I was with my ex. I was with my ex 8 years, but we did break up for a year. So maybe that was the year that he ended up coming to Chicago and sleeping on my couch because I know he slept on my couch for 7 days when he was here in Chicago. Um, but again, even at that time, that person was not the person that I met 2 days ago, right? The person that I met 2 days ago, I don't know who that person is. Life has definitely taken a toll on him. And that's why I said the best I could do is pray for him. But how it all started originally, when I shared the first day yesterday with TikTok, I wasn't really thinking like that. I got more of the rest of the epiphany today after coming in at 3:30 in the morning and a young lady being able to tell me that you know, I literally just missed him by 10 minutes. So that's why I was thinking like this, like, wow, like you don't, we all be like, oh, I know this person, but you really don't because we all change and we grow. And sometimes we grow and sometimes we fall back, right? And that's just where this particular person is. I thought he was growing and was going to be at this best potential of his life because he's done some great, amazing things before, right? He had a whole company. He built this company called Flavor. And it was like this huge internet company, that did a lot of entertainment and talk. And it was like almost like a blog or a media kind of blog. And it was big back in the day. Um, but yeah, just now I don't know. I don't know. Life is different. And like I said, mentally I do I really do feel like there's some other underlying conditions of what brought all of this about. um but yeah, like, and that's another reason, like when I do travel, especially for business, I always have everything of my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I knew him, and let's say if I would have planned on staying at his place or something, right? If something like this would have happened, this is why I don't. Like, this is why I always have my own car, hotel, flight, everything. Like, this is why everything is always under my control. Like, when I'm traveling and dealing with business and money, I have to be in control of the situation, right? And that's just me. right? If someone says they want to pay for something, send me the money and I'll book everything, right? Under me and my name. But yeah, like, and that's the other part that I'm sharing, right? From being a business owner, is that I want you guys to, remember that. Like when you're out here traveling, especially ladies, when you're out here traveling and you're going to these different states and things, make sure that you're booking every single thing under you, under your name, under your business name. So that way you always have control of everything. I'm always careful, but at the end of the day, I'm not scared. I'm never going to walk around scared. I'm not going to never walk around fearful. I'm never going to not do things or not travel or go places or experience this thing in fear, because life is life. Whatever going to happen, going to happen. But at the end of the day, I also know that I'm covered. So, thanks for the nice and the be carefuls, but I don't really need that because I'm good. That's what I'm sharing with you, this whole story. This whole story with what I said, I was never harmed. You get what I'm saying? I was never harmed through none of this. It didn't even, I didn't even have to stop it. I didn't even have to interject. There was always somebody else already there, like stopping it. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like when you walk in that power of energy of I am God led, I am God fed. I tell y'all this all the time. I'm God led and fed. People be thinking like, oh, they stop something. No, God control my life. That's why I tell y'all, you see what happened with man, but man can only do so much. God will use people to still control the situation. Man is not in control. God is always in control. And when you recognize that and you honor that and you walk in that, you will see that. And that's what I'm saying. I got to see how much in control he was, because he literally told me for 4.5 hours, be still. Go on the lake, smoke your little blunt, do what you need to do, talk to your TikTok family for 3 hours, then come and sit here in this parking lot. And I'm going to need you to chill another hour and a half, right? But if I didn't listen, if I wasn't being guided, if I wasn't listening clearly, I would have walked right into a situation yesterday. Y'all about would have been seeing me on Florida News this morning or something. You get what I'm saying? Because a person can only take so much. Like, and if I literally would have walked in and seen him acting a plum fool in the lobby, we about would have got into it, because I about would have swung on that Negro. You know what I'm saying? I was calm at the restaurant, but if I would have saw him in face to face in person acting like that, it would have been a problem. So because he's still working on me with that part, he sat me still. He was like, "Nah, I'm gonna need you to sit over here in this parking lot. I'm gonna need you to be over here and be cool." You know what I'm saying? That's literally what it was. That's literally what it was. So aggression is definitely insecurity. Oh, and that's exactly what I saw. That's what I'm saying. The moment, because everything was good when you wanted me to buy the white girls the drink. Then that's what somebody said last night. Oh, but he wanted to kiss the white girl's ass and then act the plum fool with you, the black girl. And I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the whole restaurant is white. And you wanted me to buy their drinks and pay for their food. But the moment that I tell you hell to the now, you tripping, then you flip out and you went crazy. So, that's why I said, look, I'll roll with the punches to a point. I bought that first round, but baby, no, you got the right one on this second one. No, we ain't doing that. Nah. I was cool the first time, though, but don't play my kindness for weakness, dude. Like, don't do it. And that's what it was. And that's what it was. And that's when it was like, oh. And then that's what I said. And so when he came back the fourth time, that's when I was like, nigga, who in the fuck are you talking to? Like, you got me all the way fucked up. Like, I'm not no kid. I'm not no little girl. And I ain't asked you for shit. I've paid for everything here tonight. So you can move your dirty, dusty ass around. That's what really took him and got him mad, because when he came back the fourth time, I did say something. I was cool the first 3 times, but that fourth time when he said, what I tell y'all on TikTok that he said to me, something about if I could get the deal. Oh, Because that's what I was telling him. Like, you talking tough, like you done gave somebody something. You ain't never did nothing for me a day in my life. And I'm like, if you supposed to have me sitting down to get this deal, the deal ain't closed, boo. You banking on money and talking about money that ain't closed and ain't sealed, right? So again, when you confront somebody with their lies, they hate that, and that's what it was. And then at that point, it was like, oh, who are you talking to? Like, I'm talking to you, loser. You get what I'm saying? like, cause that's how I felt. Like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, you done came in here 3, 4 times now. I done been cool. But don't keep coming in here talking shit to me like I ain't that one. I am that one, nigga. I will lay your ass out. And then that's when he that's when he walked his ugly ass out the restaurant and ended up trying to come back in again. And then they wouldn't allow him back in. That's why I'm like, keep on. Keep on. Cause I let you say it 3 times, but that 4th time, all right. All right. It's not. We not about to do that. We not about to do that there. You're not about to keep coming over here talking crazy. No, 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 no. Oh yeah, they always do. Oh, my mama say that all the time. That the devil will definitely try to come and bring as much warfare when you got shift coming, when you got greatness coming. Oh, and it's definitely been a few incidents, but this I would say by far is the most one. The one that I did not expect at all. Like some stuff you can expect. Now I'm getting warm because I had cut that damn air off. It was cold, freezing in here. But okay, now when I took this off, now I'm cold again. I'm getting older, y'all. That 40 kicking in. But yeah, it is. But at the end of the day, I had to share that part because it was protection. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna go through some stuff in life, but at the same time, you gotta know and you gotta recognize when you are still being protected and covered, whether it's personal, whether it's whether it's personal, whether it's business. Like you always gotta know and understand that. Yeah, I did change my room. I did change my room. I see somebody asking me on TikTok. Yeah. So I did change my room. Um, and again, staff and security is on standby. Right. Didn't he? That's why I said good thing he had me at that water last night. Cause that's what I said. I told y'all. I was like, okay, y'all, I'm sitting over here on this water. Sitting over here in my happy place. I love coming to Florida and sitting on that water. Yep. Definitely. Definitely. I'm just not going through y'all comments because I didn't see nothing. I'm scrolling up TikTok now. I will be back home tomorrow night. Yeah, I have one more meeting tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to meet Gary, both the Garys in South Florida, and then I'm flying back home. Yes, he will. Yes, he will, Lala. I'm not talking about no kind of tax deductions and stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, Nikki, it did. He did. He fell off. He fell off. He fell off. He always covers the lies and allows for the truth to be shown all the time. Definitely. Definitely. Yes, that's why I said that Mark was tripping. He came to, I'm like, okay, because that's what I felt like. Okay, I didn't feel bad. Like, you know, sometimes when you do stuff and you I'm like, it'd be different if we was in a different country, we both was in a different state, then no, I wouldn't have drove off and left him here. But you the mayor, right? You in your city. That's why I said that's like somebody dropping me off in Chicago. Why would I be crying? I know everybody in Chicago. If I ain't have no car, come pick me up, Uber, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you in your city, I don't need to be concerned about you and what you're doing. You a whole man. Figure it out. You in your city, right? And then, like I said, he was talking all that big tough cookie at the restaurant. Okay, go do you then, boo. Yeah, Kamisha. Look, Kamisha, you see, she said it definitely would have been a tussle because he was on some BS and you was fed up. Yeah, and you know we talked last night, Kamisha, already about the type of stuff that we be doing as Gemini. So oh, I said, Lord, I can't end up nobody news and nobody jail cell. I don't I ain't got time for this. Like I'm growing. I'm not here in this part of life, Father. This ain't my life. But no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad I listened as well. That's the message that I'm trying to share is you guys gotta pay attention to them signs and symbols and listen. Right? You gotta listen. You gotta listen because you hit it, you hear it, you feel it. Y'all was laughing when I said that he told the police. Uh she gonna say what was in that blunt. Right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said, how you gonna tell the police that I stole something from you? Dude, you didn't even buy that. That was a gift, if anything. And then the whole point was you had one in your bag. So while you over here at my hotel stalking for something, you had one in your bag. I still was nice and gifted you one and put it in your bag. But you couldn't even figure that out. You wanted to come here and make a whole scene in your city. The mayor, as he calls himself, the mayor. Right. You ready to get jail time over a blunt. Like, come on, dude. That's why I said this not say you don't smoke, but you like the smell of it. He gives you that confirmation for us not to go back around that mess. Exactly. Exactly. Like I already knew I wasn't coming back before this happened. Like, right? But I now I'm definitely never coming back. Of course, I'll be to Palm Beach for some other stuff, but like not having no kind of conversation or relationship with him. Cause he just got extra belligerent in those messages and it was just the most. It was just the most. And like I said, it's almost like seeing somebody literally going through schizophrenia. Like it's sad to hear because again, I really expected like the best out of that man. I expected like the best. I was like, yeah, this is cool. We know each other. We about to go down here and do these business deals. And I'm like, this is not what you said, buddy. Right? So again, this is a early lesson, early vision that blocks something else later, right? You got to go through stuff now sometimes so that it won't happen later on. Exactly, Lala. You be getting it. You be getting exactly what I'm saying and why I'm on here. I believe God allows our testimony of his goodness to help others to pay attention. Exactly. Because I really fell asleep. I wasn't even going to do it. But I was like, you know what? We was on at this time last night because I think I'm an hour ahead. I'm on Eastern Standard. I'm on Eastern time, which is an hour ahead of Chicago. So it's still 11 in Chicago, and some other places it's probably still even earlier. Um, But again, I get on like when I'm led. So I took a nap. I was supposed to wake up at 7 and get on at 7, but I ended up falling asleep and getting on, now at the time I got on. But that's exactly what my purpose of was, to share my testimony so that somebody else can learn and understand, like, that paying attention is real. You know what I mean? That paying attention and listening, and also providing that grace, right? Um also providing that grace. God blocked. I'm gonna have to listen to that. I don't know if I heard that one. Gr- Come on, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said, Lagertha. Like, dude, everything was all good if I would have been swiping my card that whole day while he want to buy the whole bar up, right? It would have been all good. But the moment I say, no, 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 we ain't doing this tonight, baby boy, then all hell broke loose, and the real attitude and the real person came out. So, all right, it looked like I went through everybody comments. You say best name ever. Okay, your name Patrice too. Hi. All right, my YouTubers. I'm gonna scroll back up real quick. But yeah, but after all of that, you guys, I'm great. I'm good. I went out to eat. I went and had me a little drink earlier. Went and got me some Mexican food. Had some good tacos. They were down here celebrating St. Patrick's Day, and then I came on back to my room and did some taxes. And now after I get off of here, I'm about to do some more taxes. Um, Work a couple of hours, and then go to sleep and get up in the morning and go drive down to South Florida to meet my real two business people. Once again, he say the best for last. Because these two business people is real business people with offices. Right. So that's the thing. Like, we go through things, we have distractions and things like that, but we don't sit in them. We don't sit in them. Right, new name, little sucker, talking about what us Chicagoans is ghetto. I was. That's why I said I didn't respond. I didn't say nothing. He was doing all that talking, and everybody could see clearly who was the ghetto one, right? Because during that whole time at the restaurant, I remained cool. I remained cool through the whole thing. Um, Say he invented Anna, huh? Honestly, I definitely got them kind of vibes. Like, I haven't seen the story with her. I just seen like some clips and previews from some of the stuff that people are saying. But I can definitely see him being like an inventor Anna. Yeah. Cause even with his phone conversations, he was like, "I'm back." Like, I think he's been down for so long, and everybody who he was used to dealing with maybe have counted him out, because he called like 20 people from my phone. And these people are calling back and they're like, "Who is this? And who is this?" And I have to tell them, like, "I'm no longer with this person. He called you, he reached out to you." And they were like, "Oh, that's weird. I haven't talked to him in years, or I haven't." So it's like he's trying to, I don't know. Like I said, whatever he's been through in his life, it beat him down, and he's trying to figure his way back up. And maybe he's trying to mentally rebuild himself, but he's not there, because that's what I said. The way he was talking to these girls, the two so-called assistants that he had. You talking to them like you, even if you had $1 million, even if you had money. I've never talked to people like that. Like when I'm in a hotel and I see the housekeeper, the janitor, I still speak to them the same way I would speak to anybody else, right? I still recognize them. I still acknowledge them. Like your job and what you do does not define who you are as a person. So that no title gives anybody to talk down or less than to anybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Of course, people with money have always felt this way though, right? And again, we're in Palm Beach, which is a very high net worth community, right? So you do come across a lot of those people that feel a little arrogant and uppity and think that they that. But that's why I'm like, dude, it's like you're talking that talk, but you're not walking that walk. You're not living in that reality. Right. So that's why I started paying attention and listening to the conversations. I'm like, his whole attitude and aura is just off. Like I've never heard him talk to people like this and be disrespectful like this. Like it's giving that in Vincent Anna vibes, like you said, like or worst roommate ever, right? Because those are the signs and the symbols that you got to look at for people. Like for me, I pay attention to that. Whoever I'm having in my circle, just because you growing and you making more money, like if you get to the point where you think you could just talk to people any kind of way because you got a little money, like nah, I don't want you in my circle. That's not what I'm on. Like we bless people, we praise people, we honor people. Every time I leave a hotel, I leave probably a $50 or $100 tip to the housekeeper, and I write them a little note like, "You are special. You are appreciated. You are not your job." Because a lot of these people, they don't even look at you. If you go to a hotel and you see the housekeeper, pay attention to that. A lot of them will hold their head down. I be telling them, don't hold your head down. Hello, acknowledge me, and I'm gonna look you in your eyes and acknowledge you. Like, but that's the way that society has branded like service. See, and I'm a servant. On here doing God's work. So I know and understand when you're serving people. People get arrogant, like you supposed to serve them or you beneath them for serving them. But technically, the people who come and serve you are the most humble, because it takes a lot to open your hands up and serve somebody. It's real easy to be an asshole and be like, give me this and give me that. That don't mean shit. But who are you serving? Who are you giving to? Who are you caring for? You get what I'm saying? So that's like how I look at life. It's different. And when I saw that with him, I ain't like that. I didn't like that energy at all. And I told him that. I'm like, you talking real extra to them women. And that shit is so unnecessary. And he knew he was wrong because the moment he got off the phone, he was like, that was harsh, wasn't it? It's like you purposely trying to be mean and hateful. Now you wonder why now you wonder why your life is the way your life is these last couple of years. Your attitude is whack and hateful. You can't be mean and hateful to people and then think God gonna bless you and you gonna come up and your business gonna be great. No. I've had a lot of people I want to cuss out over my business, but I had to humble myself. You can't be mean and hate and you can't come off mean and hateful, especially when you building a business and a brand. Like that's just the two don't work. How you expect to get your blessings like that? And that's what I was saying to him, but he wasn't hearing none of that. Like he was over talking, wouldn't listen. That's why I was like, yeah, I ain't going. I knew I was not going to be in his presence until Friday. I knew that. I knew that. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell him I got a meeting, which I did. I ended up booking that meeting with Gary so I can be out of here Friday. So I was telling him if we would have talked yesterday, the rest of yesterday, like Thursday and Friday, I'm good. I got my own plans and meetings. And you do. You reap exactly what you sow. And that's what I'm saying. Like energy is big with how you treat people, how certain things happen in your life. And then some people wonder like why you're still in the same place that you're at 6 years later, because your mindset. Like if you're always negative or mean, or you never want to release or give or like serve or do something good for somebody else, you always looking for the handout, or you always got something slick to say or something mean and negative attitude, Your whole life represents that. Your whole life represents that. Like my life represents how I treat people, right? I know if I give and I release, I always get it back. If I help somebody, no matter how much it is, I always get it back tenfold. Like I always get it back. So I'm always releasing. I'm always being a servant of what God will want us to be out here doing, right? So when you do that, you get it back. You get it back. Um right. I didn't. That's why I said I didn't know him. And that's again what made me think on even how I speak and say like you knew of that person years ago, like you went to school with that person or you grew up with that person, but if you don't know them in their day-to-day life, you don't know people. You just know of them. Oh yeah, that's an acquaintance, right? We got to start using that word acquaintance again. Associate. Oh yeah, that's an associate of mine. I knew them, whatever. But yeah, that's what I had to learn. I didn't know him because I haven't seen him in the last 7 years. So he changed. Black say text me is that. Queen Dara, I can't stand you. She talking about an iPhone 6 in your soldier boy voice. And see now he had shared with me that he had blocked and cut off somebody for saying something about his phone. But now I kind of get exactly where that person was coming from because he got mad and he was like, they was talking about my phone, but then they want to get in on this deal. He was like, I emailed all of these people and told them don't mess with this particular person. I said, all because he talked about your phone. And he really said something true, which was you doing all these deals, but you got a cracked iPhone 6. Like, how you handling business and you can't even see your phone screen? Like, how you doing $1 million deals and you don't even have to have an iPhone 13? I had a 10 for the longest, or a 9 or whatever. I just upgraded to a 13. But my screen ain't cracked and I could talk. You get what I'm saying? I could see the screen, you could see the messages and stuff. Yeah, he got so offended. And that's why when he because he hadn't pulled the phone out. But once when he pulled the phone out before we went to the restaurant, I said, "Oh, okay, I see what dude talking about." Because the whole screen was like gone. It was cracked up. So I was thinking the same thing. I asked him, I was like, "You don't what you on prepaid? Like you don't have a business contract? You don't have a business phone? You don't have a line under your business?" Because like my T-Mobile, I wasn't with T-Mobile. I was with somebody else, and I think they got bought. Whatever. I'm with T-Mobile now, but it's under my company name, right? It's under my EIN and my company name, my cell phone. So when my number comes up, it says Tax Credit Academy, right? Or I think it say P Stewart, and so I think I had them name it Patrice Stewart, but it would say Tax Credit Academy if I wanted it to. So I'm like, dude, you got a whole business. Like, go and get you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, okay, that was another red flag. Like, all right, you don't want to pay for a real cell phone and it's your livelihood. Like, you doing deals and calls all day. Wouldn't you make sure that you got a good phone to be able to take these calls and messages and it's not cracked and you could see it? So that was one of the first red flags. Like, okay, yeah, his money ain't where he claimed he at right now. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I guess for me, I was more expecting a little more real and honesty because I'm real and honest. Like I said, I didn't have a problem if he would have said, "Hey, Patrice, I'm a little overextended. I'm trying to make these couple of deals while we out here. I want to network with a little people. Do you mind covering the bill?" Simple as that. To me, it was about communication. It wasn't the fact of he didn't have the card or he didn't have the money, because I would have paid for it. You get what I'm saying? Because I knew him before, I would have paid for it. But You could have just communicated that with me. That's all I was saying, instead of trying to be deceitful about it or playing games about it. And then when you get confronted about it, your whole attitude changes and everything hits the fan. But it's better to be upfront and honest, like when you doing that kind of stuff, right? And that was my whole thing to him was, at the end of the day, it's called communication. If you didn't have it and you want to still be buying other people drinks, you don't have no right to be having no control over my money and what I do with my money. Right? So that's a conversation that needed to be had. You don't just buy somebody drinks and then be like, oh yeah, can you get that tab? Like, dude, we not kicking it like that. No, I know and I understand that. That's what I'm saying. I know and I understand that. But in the moment, in the time frame with everything happening, um, that's what I'm saying, like as far as being at the restaurant there. Cause like I said, I'm not gonna make a scene and be like, oh, I'm not paying for these drinks and all that other stuff. Like, you've already ordered the drinks, the ladies are already drinking. We're gonna just go ahead and pay for it. But I have to have him know and understand, you need to stop ordering drinks because we're not paying for no more, and we definitely ain't buying no food. It's like, oh Lord. It was this whole last 2 days has just been, it threw me off a little bit because I wasn't really able to focus a whole lot on taxes. I'm already kind of behind. I already took the time out of, this busy tax time to come down here. And I just was like, oh, it's like, what the hell? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? But at the end of the day, I always try to look at like the bigger picture. What's the lesson that I'm gaining out of this? What's the lesson that I'm supposed to be learning, and what's the lesson that I'm supposed to be taught in this moment? And so that's what I got from it. Um, Jay Rod say thugs react, gangsters respond. You handled it like a G. Come on here, Jay Rod. He had Right. He had that key card. I was like, hold on. Let me get on. Let me pull that back, baby. You ain't supposed to have that. I got that real quick. I'm like, how the hell he grabbed my key card off the table? Yep. Red flags all over the place. Spirits are definitely out here. Definitely. That's why I stay protected. That's why I say you gotta speak and talk to God on a regular daily basis to stay protected. No, Shannon, no. I was saying that he had my room key when we originally left to go to the restaurant because we were up here hanging out before we left. But I got my room key back when we were driving to the restaurant. And then they moved me anyway. Once I came in last night, we moved me to another room. So, but that's what I told that front desk worker, like, girl, come on here. You was on it. You was on it. But because she was paying attention. That's she said she was like he was acting weird and fidgety and he seemed off. And see, and everybody don't pay attention to that. So that's what I told her. I thank her and I appreciate her for doing that because it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, right? She could have just easily been like, okay, and gave him the key and let him on up. But I'm glad she didn't. She would have been wrong because that's what she said. She looked at my reservation and it was only under me. And most times when people come in as a couple, you'll put the other person's name on a reservation. I used to do it all the time with my ex. If I booked the room, I would immediately call and put his name and ID on the reservation so that way he could have access to any and everything. Of course, I didn't do that because dude ain't staying here with me, right? That wasn't the goal or the plan. Like I had no idea he was gonna sleep on the couch the first night. But that's why I said everything happens the way it happens. God was like, nah, baby, we about to get this devil on up out of here. We about to release all of this aura and energy all up out of here. You got work to do, and you don't have time for no kind of distractions. So I had to go back and see, I had to come back here to see that the old person that I knew is not that same person. It's not that same person. People definitely change. You say it was that man saying, "Who were you to do better than me when you last saw him?" Yeah, in a way, like after some of the stuff that he was saying, like you could tell he was like a little hurt and jealous because he's like trying to get this whole reality TV series about his life and being in the industry as an agent or whatever, and he was like, I saw you on YouTube, and I was like, yeah, but I didn't feed into all of that. Like I'm not trying. I don't want no show. I ain't trying to be on TV. And having nobody walking around in my life with cameras and all that stuff. Like I'm not doing this for publicity, right? I've always had a cause in my mind for this, and the goal empower and educate. It ain't to get a reality TV show. Like, you don't even control the content that go on that crap. Like they want a bunch of drama and nonsense. They're not putting out great TV shows with people that are actually doing good work and really changing lives out here. Like, nah, I'm good on that. You said that's that code switch. Yep. And that's the whole point, new name. That was it. Like you say, I guess this was a little vacation, but I kind of wanted that too, right? Um, but definitely glad you were able to learn from this. Sitting here hearing this just made me think twice about getting into business with people. Right. And that's the thing. That's part of me sharing my story is for you to take out of it, what you could take out of it. But ultimately that is, a part of it. Like people are who they are, and some of us grow and elevate, and unfortunately some of us don't grow and elevate. I don't want to say we fall back in life, but unfortunately, some of us don't grow. And so it may be, yeah, and I talk about that too before, like people who know of you or have known you, it could be hard for them to see you grow. I personally, I don't get that. I have celebrated every person that I know that has grown, whether I think that they've grown more than me or they've successful or whatever. Like that doesn't hold me back, right? I don't, and it's not for me to get. You can't get other people's logic. That's other people's logic and opinion. It is what it is. But in this case, that was the part for me to help get on and share my story as well. Was we have to pay attention to the people that we know, right? And make sure that the business is really there. Because, like I said, I was almost getting ready to invest like in a deal that he was talking about, and that's what some told me, like, no, like, and that's why I told him, like, if an opportunity come up where I can get in the room in a meeting, then let me know. I'll fly down. And see, he didn't think I really was gonna come at first. But when I sent him itinerary like that night. Like, nah, I just booked. Like, it's because it's spring break down here right now. So the prices for the hotels is like crazy. That's why I spent $2,000. I literally paid like, yeah, like $2,100 for my flight, hotel, and my rental car all as a package deal. Whereas normally that I could have probably got that for like 1,200. Like I end up paying like an extra $800 or $900 just because it's spring break and it was the day before, right? I booked this Monday night and I got here Tuesday night. So like I was showing him I'm serious. Like if I'm gonna get the call to be in the room for business, like I'm serious. I'm on my shit, right? But that's what I needed to see. Like you're serious, but he ain't, right? That's what God like. I'm leveling you up. Don't worry. You got these $1,000,000 deals coming, but it ain't finna be through him. That's what I got out of it. Cause I know where I'm going and I know the direction where I want to be. I know I want to be down here in Florida. This is a money state. They do deals here all over. You get what I'm saying? But I thought this was a good person that would be able to introduce me to a bunch of people. And come to find out, unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. But that's okay because he got another door. What I tell y'all on TikTok last night? Oh, because that was the thing. When he said that to me, that's what really blew me. Like, you tripping over $70 and I'm about to give you $1,000,000 deal. Like, I felt like he knew from day one, because again, we've known each other. He knew from years ago, like this plan that I always had to do with the youth. And that's the reason why I set my non-for-profit up 2 years ago, this plan that I had to do with the youth. And I felt like he knew, like, I can like dangle this or hold this over her head or something. And it was almost like he was saying, like, now you're not gonna be able to do this deal with these two different athletes that you want to work with because of me. And that's what I told TikTok last night. Like, every time I come to Florida, I get an epiphany, right? I told them every time I come to Florida and I sit on this water, I get an epiphany. God what's the word I want to say? Not releases, but y'all get what I'm saying. He reveals. That's the word I'm looking for. He reveals something to me every single time I come down here to Florida. That's why I like coming down here. Every single time he reveals something, right? And so that night when I was sitting there yesterday talking to y'all on the water, that was my revelation moment for me. Like, this dude really feel like he got control over who I'm gonna talk to. And what I tell y'all, watch how God work, and I'm still gonna get them two athletes that I wanted to work with. And I mess around and get more than that. Because don't no man stop nothing that God got planned. God gave me this idea over 10 years ago. He didn't get me right here to talking about it and being so-called close to it. I feel like he's letting me know, like, you on the way. And then I shared with TikTok last night, I'm seeing one of these athletes more than ever. Like, they constantly coming in my vision, whether it's on TV, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's an ad. Now this particular person is steady just popping up, popping up, popping up. That's energy, right? I talked to y'all about that last night. Like, when you thinking about somebody and then they call you out the blue and you like, damn, I've been thinking about you for a couple of days. I was gonna call you. Baby, that's energy. That's energy. That's that energy. So that's why I'm like, when he had the nerve to say that to me at the table, like you felt like you was taking something away from me. Like, dude, you have no authority to give me nothing. You are not the authority. Right? Like, well, if that's what you think, why you ain't did it in 20 years? Don't worry about why I ain't did something. It's gonna happen now. Put a light to my behind. You just lit that fire in me to make sure that it gets done again. That I put this non-for-profit back on the forefront, back in the beginning of my mind, back where I needed to be. All of this to me was just revealing for me, right? That's what I took away from it. Because I shared again last night some intimate topics with TikTok about my life, about how things happened in my life, about how I am who I am, right? So when you get and I share like my childhood experience, right? And how I had to start bringing in money and how I was paying bills at 15. I was paying the mortgage at my house, my parents, right? My mother and my stepfather was functioning addicts, as I like to say, functioning addicts. When you're going to work every day, but you also are on drugs, or you're addicted to drugs, right? So that's what I was dealing with. My parents were functioning addicts. So at 15, I was grinding, right? I was making $1,000 a week, 2,000 a week sometimes. So I was paying the mortgage and bills at 15. People want to know why I act the way that I am, why I'm responsible, why I'm called the mama of the group, because I had to grow up early, right? I was forced things, and then not necessarily forced, because I could have just been a kid and sobbing about I don't have this and I don't have that because my mama couldn't give me no money. That wasn't my mentality. My mindset was, okay, if my parents is struggling or doing whatever they doing, I got to get out here and get it. I got to learn how to get this bread. So that's what I did. I utilized my brain and my mindset, right? And that's what I was sharing with TikTok yesterday. I didn't use my body. Like a lot of the younger girls that I knew, they were sleeping with the drug dealers to get what they wanted. I didn't have to open my legs, because God gave me this brain up in here, baby. I was utilizing that sucker. Been utilizing that sucker ever since. Once I became 14 and had that mind, all right, I got to get this money that my parents gonna let the lights go off, or I'm gonna have to pay this bill. Like, that's when it kicked in. You get what I'm saying? So for me, it's always been like a bigger cause, which is that's why I say I always still reach back. Even though I'm not in the hood, I don't deal with the day-to-day hood life. I understand it because I was in it. I was born in it. I was raised in it. Right. So that's why I still like say I had that passion to still educate the hood and the community, because I know and understand, if we knew money and we knew taxes and we knew how to spend our money and put our money together like group economics, and understood that, then that's when real change could come in our neighborhoods. So I'm a part of that person that God is using to help create that, right? To help show that, to help put that mindset in our youth, because you can't expect the parents to teach them when they don't know it. How I'm expect the parents to teach their kids money management? How we expect this next generation to learn money management if some of y'all struggling? If some of y'all don't know credit? If some of y'all don't know financial literacy, right? So that's the reason why I started focusing on the youth, because I was going to talk to the parents and the parents was giving me hell. Well, I go to the currency exchange and I do this and I do that. Like grown people, some grown people you can't just get to. If they 35 and up and they want to do stuff their way, they just do stuff their way. So I learned that. Like, okay, you're not going to be able to talk to these grown people like that. So I started in the schools, but I haven't been in the schools in a long time, because when I left corporate America, I've been building my business these last 8 years. I've been fully self-employed since 2013. So I couldn't go to the schools like that, right? Because I had to build this business, I had to build this brand. But now that I've made some money, now that I do have a network of people, now that I do have a different kind of calling that I'm walking, I can get back to this non for profit. I can get back to bringing other people in. And with today's ways of communicating and social media and stuff like that, it wouldn't be hard for me to get these athletes to do what I want them to do. It really wouldn't. It wouldn't be hard for me to get them to do what I want them to do with what we have with today's social media. So, like I said, for me, this was all kind of like just another way to light the fire back up under me. Because for me, I'm one of them people, when you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to prove to you I can do it. I shared that last night again with my TikTok people. Like I was a stepchild, so I was treated a little differently, and I was always told that I couldn't do this. So I was ghetto. I was this little ghetto girl from Chicago, and I ain't gonna make this, and I ain't gonna do that. So my whole life, I've been proving a point to my stepmother, in a nutshell, right? Until I went to therapy in 2018. Then my proving to her went away. But my whole life I've been proving to my stepmother that I am somebody. that I'm not that little ghetto girl from Chicago that you think I am. I'm way more than what you really think I am. So I was always proving a point. And so when you get that at an early age, like when you have to defend yourself from your own family, anybody else in the world don't matter, right? That's why I say I understand now why God made me how he made me and why I had to go through the things that I had to go through, because I would not be able to get on here and talk and speak freely and say and have these conversations if I was still in that place of shame or lack of or feeling less than or feeling unworthy, right? Because that's how I used to feel. I used to feel less than. I used to feel unworthy. So I accepted stuff from men, people, relationships, because I always felt like I wasn't worthy. So I would allow people to kind of walk over me. I was nice, but I did allow people in my life to utilize my resources longer than they should have, right? And some of that came from that unworthy, right? When you have that unworthy feeling. So that's another reason why I say it's okay to go to therapy. It's okay to talk to somebody about your childhood, because most of the issues that we have came from something that happened in our childhood. It is what it is. Most of us are grown adults with a 9-year-old living inside of us. Literally, that's what it was. I was I went to it's 2022. I went to therapy in 2018. That was 5 years ago. So I was 35. I was 35 with the hurt 9-year-old still living inside of me. You get what I'm saying? And acting in that place of trauma. And that's how a lot of us are living. So you're never going to come out of that until you actually face it, until you actually talk about it, release it, had a conversation, figure out where your hurt and your rage and your pain and your anger comes from. Then you can start healing. Then you can start seeing your life change and things happen and move differently for you, and God gonna be blessing you, right? A lot of the people who was against you or the so-called enemies, they always say he will set a seat for you in front of your enemies. Like, that's how I feel now. I feel like a lot of the people who doubted me in the beginning, he set a seat for me, right? And I'm able to be open and free and honest. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not wearing, like I said, I don't put on a whole face of Maybelline and get on here and got to be somebody else and got to act like I'm somebody else. Like, I'm giving you me in the raw. This is how I am in person. This is how I am in life. This is how I am even in my business. I'm cool and collective like this. I may cuss in our tax session like hell, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what that's me. Like, I'm not going to change who I am just because I'm a business owner or just because I'm in financial services. Like, I can still be my natural self, right? And then there's still people who will be open and honest and accept that. And then there's some people who don't like it. Okay, I'm not for everybody. Cool. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you have to be your natural given self. Like, in society, too many of us are taught to like not shun who you are, but what's the word I want to say? Especially those of y'all that's in corporate America, because I was there. Like, anybody who work in corporate America, you know what it is. You have to change who you are. Like me working at the bank, I couldn't just say, hello, thank you for calling whatever bank, Patrice speaking. You get it like in this voice because I come off as strong or whatever, right? So what do? Hi, thank you for calling such and such bank. Patrice speaking. How may I help you? Like, that's not our natural voice. That's not who we are. So every day you're not even realizing that mentally you're being somebody else. You get what I'm saying? We have to be somebody else to be in these corporate worlds and environments. We can't be our natural self with our natural tone, with our natural mindset. That's another thing about corporate America why I had to leave, because they don't want you to have no opinion. We would get at the table, they would say what's wrong. I'm telling them what the fuck is wrong. Y'all got us over here making sales calls at 8 o'clock at night and we getting hung up on. These wives is calling, cussing us out. Why are we making calls at 8 o'clock at night? Then everybody else sitting around the table, they feel the same way, but they all looking at me crazy because I said something. Like you know what I'm saying? So my mama told me early on, like, you ain't gonna make it in corporate America because you have a voice. And corporate America don't like that. Corporate America wants you to be in this little box and just come in this cubicle and shut the hell up and do your job. And that ain't me. Nah, I wasn't shutting the hell up. Every time I had something to say, I had something to say. When they gave us the floor meeting, I'm the only one talking at the table, which didn't make no sense because we all was just in the back room saying the same thing. But now when we get the opportunity to speak up, everybody's scared because you want to keep your job. Bump this job. Now, again know that I'm different. I don't have any kids. A lot of y'all with kids be like, oh, I got to keep this job because I got kids. And that job ain't no security. If they wanted to let you go tomorrow, that and you still got kids, right? So this is why I be saying, utilize y'all skill set, utilize your mind, utilize that money that you make it from your job and figure out another way to make money, another way to make passive income, another way to be investing or start yourself a business. Because every single thing in America, your W-2 wage earners pay the most. Like, you guys pay the most in taxes. Me being a business owner, I don't pay no damn taxes. I write everything off. This whole trip, I'm not tripping off that $2,000 because that's a write-off. Like, the business tax laws in America were made for America. Your forefathers, or who they call the forefathers of this country, they all have businesses. That is the reason why business taxes and business laws work the best. That's why I'm always screaming to y'all, start a business, start a business, start a business. You want to quit living check to check. You want to stop paying all these taxes. You want to stop doing certain things. You got to figure out financial literacy. You got to be serious with this money management. You got to be serious with learning how to get over and work the system legally, just like they do. This is how they do it. This is why the top 1 to 10% is the top 1 to 10%. Because they know and understand this. And then they have enough money to hire accountants and CPAs and tax attorneys and enrolled agents and tax experts like myself that are going to get them the strategies. That are going to show them how to put your money into this account instead of an IRA account. If you put your money into this account, you don't have to have your money held for 60 years until you're 59 and a half. You can access your money now by being set up this way, attach you a trust to it, attach you a holdings company to it. You get what I'm saying? But they're never going to teach you this in school. Everybody keeps saying, oh, well, they need to teach this in school. It's a reason that it's not taught in school. This is systematic. It's systematic for you to go to school, go to college, pay all that money for college, and barely, it's less than 12% in this country that make $100,000. The average person has 150 to 200,000 in college debt, and only 12% of the country is making $100,000. You don't think that's systematic? You don't think that the average administrative assistant makes 40 to 50,000? Like, these are real numbers. Don't matter what your degrees, no, none of that. Right? We got Harvard grads that's not making 100 grand. It's systematic. And you got to get off of and playing the social media game, watching Love and Hip Hop, watching all of the latest and greatest TV series. That's what they do. They keep you flooded with the entertainment and the TV and the rappers and the entertainment's lives. And y'all be stuck on Shade Room all day. So that way you're not focused on building your own family wealth. You okay with watching the Kardashians make hundreds of millions of dollars? No. No. You see, it's quiet in my room. I don't have no TV on, nothing playing. This is how it always is. I rarely watch TV. Rarely. And if I do, it's just like Netflix or something. Because I've been watching Kanye documentary series lately. But in order for you to really change, you got to get out of the worldly stuff. Like, you got to get out of the worldly stuff that everybody else is doing. You got to sacrifice. That's really what it is. You got to sacrifice. You got to sacrifice now for the life that you want for tomorrow. And it ain't hard. You just got to know that you worth it, worth the sacrifice, that your family is worth the sacrifice. Do you want to leave a legacy or do you want to leave debt? My family, we were taught to leave a legacy, right? My grandparents, both my grandparents were civil rights leaders. We were taught to leave a legacy. We weren't taught to leave debt. We weren't taught, I wasn't taught clothes, cars, and rim mentality. I wasn't taught that Jordans, you go and buy a pair of Jordans every month. No, that's not how I was raised. I was raised on we leave a legacy. We had a family trust account, right? So it's certain things that I was exposed to on at an early age. And even though that I lived in the hood with my mother, my father and my grandmother exposed me to greater and better, which is why I say I'm book smart and street smart. That's how I got the best of both worlds. But if you really, really, really want to see like that change in your life, that's what you got to do. You're going to have to make that decision. And you got to figure out what are you willing to sacrifice, especially for those of y'all with kids. I'm always yelling this to y'all with kids because I don't have no kids. And I'm sitting here like I'm building all this crap up for who I don't know what family member gonna get it. I guess I got a nephew, but shit, he ain't gonna need it. But my sister and her husband, they both attorneys. He gonna be straight. But especially those of y'all with kids, that's why I'm always yelling to y'all like, what y'all gonna do? If you died tomorrow, what you gonna do? What do you got in place? Wills are null and void. We don't do wills. You need a trust. You need an estate. You need a trust plan. That way you can determine and dictate what you want to happen with the money when your kids get it. You don't want them kids just blowing the money. You want to get them rules. You want to get them some structure. Like my grandparents, when they set up our trust, if we didn't go to college, we couldn't get our money. That was their rules because it was their money. So if we didn't get a college degree, we could not access our trust fund. You can set stipulations like that. If you got kids and you know that they're not ready at 18, if something happened to you, you could set a stipulation. Hey, my kids can't access this money till they're 21 or till they're 25 or until they do this or until they do that. Whatever stipulations you want to set on there, you can do that in a trust. Right? So that's the thing. That's what we want. We want more people educated financially on how to live in America, right? Not living check to check, not waiting on the government to pay something for you, not waiting on a stimulus payment, not waiting on Link and Section 8 and low income to pay your monthly. Because God forbid, if the government decided to shut down, what are you going to do? What's your action plan? Because you can't be in the mindset of it's always going to be here. You can't. Like, you cannot be in that mindset of, oh, it's always going to be here. Y'all saw what happened with the pandemic when they quit cutting checks for a little while. A lot of people was hurt, right? A lot of people got hurt. So you don't want to be stuck in that position in a place where somebody else got control of your livelihood. Like somebody else got control of your money, your family's income. You get what I'm saying? And I think sometimes people take that when I be saying this stuff online, like take it to heart. And that's why I always tell y'all, get out your feelings. Like, get out your feelings and actually listen to what I'm saying. Because I'm not knocking you if you're on Section 8 or low income, but I definitely want you to know and understand that it's so much more to life than that. because you're limiting yourself to a one-time monthly check. When if you utilize the skill set that you have, because you have one, we all have one, you just have to figure it out. What is yours, right? But when you utilize your mind and your skill set, and I got off of that corporate train in 2013, and I bet on myself, and I started this company. I started this company in '08, but I was part-time. But once I got let go in March of 2013, I was like, I ain't going back to this. I ain't kissing nobody ass to get no 50-cent raise. And I'm tired of being the only one talking at the table. I'm tired of talking to people in the break room that be all go ho, oh yeah, rah, 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 we ready. Then when you get to the table and it's time to speak, everybody's silent. I didn't come from that. I'm a grandma. You know, I told y'all my grandmother was the first African American female to fight for equal pay. Her name is Viola Louise Duval Stewart. She had a mouth and an opinion, and she taught me and raised me. When you see an injustice or when you see something happening that you don't like or agree with, you speak up. And see, corporate, my mama knew who I was, and my mama told me before I even got to corporate. Because my mama told me my whole life by watching her come in and complain about her corporate job every day. My mama would come in and complain about corporate America every single day of my life. So by the time I got there, I was like, ugh, is this where I want to be? But she knew. She said, you ain't going to last long. She said, you ain't going to last long, baby. You ain't going to last long. You ain't going to last long. And I didn't. I lasted 5 years. That was decent. 5 years was decent. But 5 years showed me enough. I was good. I said, oh, no. No. I can do this on my own. I can bet on myself. Because they was only paying me a little measly $40,000. And that's before taxes. So after taxes, I was bringing home, what, 32, 33, if that? I bet on myself in December 2013. I had $98,733 that I had made. I went from $40,000 a year before taxes to in less than 6 months, I had made $98,733. This is why I tell some of y'all, all y'all ain't meant to be in that cubicle at corporate America. Some of y'all got a gift and a dream, and you need to be getting on your behind, off your behind, and working and doing what you need to do. Some people is gonna be stuck in corporate America. It is what it is. But some of you, that ain't your destiny. And I'm a living witness here to tell you. So you can see somebody that looked just like you, that came from the hood, right? But I'm good. Now, I ain't gonna sit here and act like I ain't struggled and had nothing going on and didn't have to build this business from the ground up and blood, sweat, and tears. But this is the difference. I would rather build up my company and my name than build that white bank up, than build that white corporation up. I was making millions for that bank, and y'all was paying me a measly $40,000. The hell? I'll go out here and work every day of my life if I got to for this company that's mine. I own it. It's my name. It's my legacy. I could leave it to a family member or nobody can leave it, but it's mine at the end of the day. I didn't build up another white corporation that treats you like shit and you a number to them. You die, they replacing you and somebody gonna be at your cubicle tomorrow. So, people, no matter what color you are on here, no one understand your value. This is a system. Okay? America is a system. You got to learn how to work this sucker, how they work you. So the same way corporate America work you, you got to figure out how to work this system. And you ain't got to figure it out. That's why I'm here. That's why I created Boost Your Mindset Academy. That's why I teach the classes and the courses. That's why I try to educate you. That's why I give you this free time, these hours out of my day that I'm supposed to be sitting here doing taxes. Because I'm going to be the one to keep it real and honest with you. I'm going to tell you what everybody else don't want to tell you. I'm not going to charge you for these classes and then they're giving you the bare minimum. You getting in these classes, we giving you hundreds of thousands. When we just did this 5-day tax challenge, we gave millions of dollars worth of information. I could have easily came down here to Palm Beach and charged 20 grand. Easy for the information that we was giving out on that tax challenge. Easy. That challenge was $197 for 5 days worth of content. And actually, you got 6 days because we did a whole extra bonus day on Saturday for 3 hours. But you've been brainwashed for so long, some of y'all don't even recognize your own power and potential as a people. That you can rise up on your own. We don't have to wait on nobody. No, because no one's coming to save you. That's the reality. Everyone's waiting for this savior that's not coming. God is here in your life every single day. You don't got to wait on God to come. God is here right now. If you talk to him, communicate with him every single day, he will lead you, he will direct you, he will guide you. I'm a living witness. This is another reason why I'm on here sharing that. If you told me today that I will be 40 and on here talking to y'all on the internet about God and how God changed my life and talking about my business and talking about my life, I would have lost. I would have money that you crazy as hell. If you would have bet me 5 years ago, I would have bet you all my money. Hell to the no, that is not happening. But this is what happens when you follow direction. This is what happens when you follow your calling. I knew very early on that I was different. All my friends used to call me the mayor, the alderman, because I always was speaking up for the people, always saying what wasn't right. This is wrong. This is that. Always speaking up because everybody else be silent. I battled with God for years about my assignment. I was like, I don't want to do this because these people don't listen. And what I'm down for Black people for, and they out here killing each other. They don't give a damn about each other. What I got to keep saying something for? All I kept getting hit back with was flack. I ain't want to do this. But God said, no, you're going to do it. So I've been on here doing it. But he also told me, he also told me that he was going to release me to a new audience, that he had a new set of ears for me. That's what I heard. I'm going to release you into a new audience because I was on Facebook doing this for 10 years and nobody was listening. Then January of last year, 2021, I got on TikTok. And in less than 2 weeks, I went viral. I had over 10,000 followers and growing still. Then I got launched on YouTube. And then I started getting a community of people who was listening. Started getting a community of people who was agreeing with me, who was clapping, who was buying courses, who was getting in class. I said, okay, God, okay. He said, see, I told you, just stick with me. He had to move me around a little bit. I was moving around over here, over there. He had to put me in a few rooms. And I was like, yeah, God, it ain't working over here. No, God, it ain't working over here. Nope, it ain't working over here. And he said, all right, I'm going to sit you right here. I don't like Facebook either, girl, because it ain't nothing but a bunch of shits and giggles on that sucker. Ain't nobody on there really trying to do nothing. That's why he said, I'm going to change your platform. You on the wrong platform. I got a whole set of people for you on another platform. I had no idea TikTok was like this. I had no idea TikTok, you could grow a whole community and it was people on here that want to learn money and taxes and life. And I didn't even know that. I thought TikTok was just a bunch of people dancing on here, dancing and faking and doing memes and crap. I didn't have TikTok. My friend told me to download TikTok. Then that damn PPP went viral, and it was like, okay, here you go again. I'm gonna launch you. Here go another, So that's again why I tell y'all, we just have to stick to the plan. We don't always see the bigger picture, but we just have to stick to the plan sometimes. I didn't stop the plan, even though I wanted to. I wanted to close up my office. I didn't want to deal with tax clients. I was done in 2018, right? I was done. But God was like, no, no, no. No, no, no. I'm gonna need you to come on home, baby. I'm gonna need you to come on home. I need you to come on home. I need you to bring it on in. And then I started back my relationship with him. I started back going to church. I started back learning how to talk to him, how to communicate with him, started learning who I was and why I had to go through certain things in life. And now this is what you get. This you see on your TikTok, on your YouTube. This is the real, right? That's one thing I have always been proud of is the realness that I bring. If anything, that's what I always get from my clients is you are so real. You are so real. You are so real. You are so real. And I'm like, at first I was hearing and I'm like, okay, but now with how society and the world and how everybody's so fake and phony and the Maybelline and the lace front wigs and the fake bodies and the everything, it's just, I understand why people recognize real when they get it. Because there's so much fake out here. It's damn near draining. We damn near drowning in the fake. That's why I be by myself. Because there's so much fake and phony, even with the people that you know, right? Or that you used to know, right? It's just so much fake in the phony. I can't. I can't. I don't have the fake and the phony in me. I don't. So I'm sorry. I'm going to be real and I'm going to be honest and I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you what they don't want you to know about taxes. I'm going to tell you what they don't want you to know about business. I'm going to tell you what they don't want you to know about corporate America and W-2s and keeping your money and moving your money over here and over there. I'm going to tell you all that because you ain't getting it. TikTok is how Facebook was in 2005. It was lit back then. Exactly. That and Queen Dara, that's a whole nother other niche that I'm slowly tapping into with the whole digital coin and the metaverse and the bitcoins and all of that. But yeah, and that's a whole nother other way to get into digital wealth, right? Into wealth is with the digital currency. And that's the thing, like I know it is what it is. Like my people lack from a lack of knowledge. And that is another reason why I do get on and say some of the stuff that I get on because I don't want us to always be at the end of the barriers, right? Always at the end of everything, coming up, learning about everything. That's why we got to start having these kind of conversations about wealth building and money and currency and all of this stuff now, right? While it's not under government control, because those of you all that may or may not know, they're getting ready to start taxing crypto January 2023, right? So that's another reason why I'm going down here tomorrow to meet both of the Garys because we're getting ready to start doing different classes and courses on how you can start putting your money into products, right? Or into tax saving products where you're not being taxed on your investments, on your different income that you're getting in, right? setting up your companies and your businesses and structuring them properly in these ways that you're not paying taxes. Because the wealthy is not paying taxes, literally, and it's completely legal. So I don't want you guys to keep complaining about the system and how this ain't fair and that ain't fair. It's never going to be fair. So you either going to get in the game, you're going to learn and get in some classes and some workshops and start wealth building, or you're going to keep being on here talking and complaining like the rest of the people on social media. I hope you choose the latter. All right. Because you have somebody here that's willing to put the time and effort into you. We just do them in classes. I give you this little info, this is my therapy for me to get online. But when we be in these classes be serious. Like the information is real and legal and legit, that we're providing. You saying you already paying taxes on crypto. Well, I'm not paying taxes on none of mine, but you're definitely going to be paying taxes on January 2023. Starting January 2023. The legislation, the law was already written into effect. It's already been signed by Biden. So you guys are going to start paying that. So no, you will not get access to that class for $97. Nobody will get the access to that information again. I am releasing the course, but it's going to be $397 for the course. And you'll be able to watch it at your own pace. But yeah, the $97 and the $197, that was a one-time offering deal. You would have had to do it, when we had class last week. But I knew that I was underpricing, that program. I did it like that for a reason. But by mid next week, we'll have the course up. We're uploading the content and I'm editing the videos and stuff down now that we'll roll it out formally in the course. But everybody will still get access to that information. You just won't get it at that cost again. So it's $397 for the course. It's a 5-day course. It's actually 6 days of content. So, because we also give you the bonus day in the course. The bonus day was an extra 3 hours worth of content. So it's $397. Correct. That's what the course will be when it launches on Wednesday. So it'll be on my link on Wednesday. And I'm still not busting you over the head. Right? Because that's why I say we was given millions of dollars worth of information in that. And you're also gonna see another video because Chuck, the finance guy, had a lady on and she was selling her course for $1,000. So that's what I be wanting people to see, like the value of the information that you're getting. And when somebody offers you that kind of value at $97 or $200, then you want to take advantage of that. You want to get on that the next time. Because there was a lot of people asking me after the fact, like, oh, I missed it. You did miss it. So next time you'll pay attention. And if that opportunity comes around again, then you'll know to move forward with it. Because that's what I'm talking about with the sacrifice. Everybody always say what you can't afford, but if you went to Starbucks every day, if you bought dinner out every day, if you went to a $100 steak meal, you actually could afford it. You just chose not to afford it. It's a difference. And again, we have to have accountability. And we have to know and understand what we're willing to pay for. A lot of y'all be willing to pay for stuff, but you don't want to pay for that education that's really going to change your life. But you okay with paying for a $100 steak dinner. Or you okay with paying $300 Jordans. But to get in a class that's going to teach you how to change you and your kids' life and financial future, a lot of people miss that opportunity for that $197 price. Because it was $197 to get my guest speakers. It was $97 with me. But yeah. She gonna say, I literally just said I missed it. I feel attacked. Hey. Again, I'm gonna tell it real. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Now I understand some people who really truly can't afford it. Like, right? If you really truly can't afford it, but some of y'all really could afford it. You just chose to spend your money elsewhere, and that's okay. Like I said, if you ever got the opportunity again, you'll be on it next time. Yeah, because that was a 5 day live course. We met every day from 6 to 7 for VIP and from 7 to 8 for um general admission, because general admission paid 97, but VIP was the ones that had access to my guest speakers and things like that. So yeah, we gave some amazing content. I'm so proud of that. I ain't even gonna lie. I was so proud of that week, of the information that my community shared that night, that week. Chuck, the finance guy, got on Saturday and did a whole 3 hours. So yeah, my community, my network, we over here, we working. We trying to change some lives together. We trying to change some lives around this sucker. Queen said, I just went to the social media marketing world as conference and marketing. You are a creator. Yes. And I just hired a marketing team because I don't got the time for this stuff, like to be doing these videos and going through them and all that. Like I'd be having to study these tax laws. That'd be enough. Like I have learned I need a team. Now it's time. God is like, baby, it's time. You gotta elevate. You need a team. So I just hired a whole marketing team that I got to finish actually filling this survey of information out for them tonight so they can start working on my video content and us planning out the content for the next 30 days. Because that's what I'm trying to do now, is get more organized with the content that we're pushing out, being more consistent, maybe having like, you know, a month, like my pastor Hannah, when him and Jermone Glenn do their sermons, every month they have a different like theme or topic that they're talking about. So that's what I want to start getting more. That's what I want to start putting out more. It's like that way, okay, next month we talking about trust, right? June we talking about estate planning. July we talking about group economics, something like that, right? I want to start getting more of a content creation calendar. And I know with that kind of stuff, you got to have a team. So we're working on some stuff. We're working on some stuff. Cause as they're telling me, I can't do this with you guys. Like I can't get on and spend hours on here talking to you all freely. So take this time in right now while we have this, okay? Because things are really about to change in the next couple of months. So that's another reason, why I am sharing some of this stuff, of the direction of where we're going. Because the other thing is when you are doing stuff like this, and because of the space I'm in and the energy, I can't have everybody easily accessible to me. So that's the reason why I'm not doing Facebook, right? I'm only doing TikTok and YouTube because I feel here is where I'm actually getting across to you guys. You're actually genuinely listening versus just coming on my feed on Facebook like some of the people, a bunch of people on Facebook are people who I grew up with. I don't really talk or communicate with none of them people, but a lot of us came from the same neighborhood. And a lot of them people will just watch you. They just want to see what you got going on, but they never interact. They never like nothing on your page, but they see how everybody else loves you, right? And that's what it's been. They see how everybody else loves me, right? How everybody else from these other community places, states, platforms love me, but some of the people that you know and grew up with, they just hate to see that they stuck in that same place. So Facebook to me is like that. It's like a bunch of the old people that you knew, and they all still stuck in the same place. And then they see you growing and glowing, and they be hating a lot. So, so Facebook has always been like that. That's why I said I've been on that 10 years. God, like, baby, we got a whole nother other mindset of people in the platform for you to holler at that's ready to go, right? That's ready to change and make these millions. Thank you, Sherry Ann. Tasha speaks. Appreciate you, ladies. Yeah, actually, Biden passed that last year. That was right after the American Rescue Plan. So yeah, that was passed last year with the with the taxing on the crypto. They're just not going to implement it until January 2023. It's not going to go into effect until January 2023. So this technically is your last year to not be paying taxes on the 2021 stuff. But 2022 income this year, you'll be paying taxes on that for next year, unless you set up and you got someone else that you can funnel this money to. Yeah, see, then they forcing you with all this metaverse stuff. It's like you said, you JP Morgan and them have already buying decentralized land and real estate. Like a lot of people are buying land. If anything, like that's what I probably need to get on because I'm not familiar with all of it, but my cousin and his people are. They got the NFTs and all this stuff. So I've been listening to some of them, and at minimum, I would buy land because I think one of the land plots they were selling for like 700. Now it's like 30,000. I was like, damn, why I didn't get on that in December and buy that damn plot for 700? So yeah, now I think once tax season is starting to slow down for me next month or before then, I told my cousin if he see a plot of land to let me know and I'll buy some Ethereum because you got to have Ethereum with a lot of them. A lot of them are selling it, using the Ethereum coin to buy and purchase in that metaverse. But yeah, that land, that's a whole nother other ball game. Like you could be owning land. I watched the brother Ben X guy on Instagram. He teaches that. Like he says he owns like 1,500 pieces of land in metaverse. And he was like, he only owned one piece of land in real life. Right. But he got 1,500 properties in metaverse and he's making, a nice amount of monthly income. So this is the kind of stuff that we talking about and we saying like it's money to be made out here, right? We just have to know and have these conversations on where we're putting the money and where we're making our investments. It's not a good investment to be buying 15 and 20 pairs of Jordans. But it is a good investment if you're gonna buy maybe the Jordans or from Nike within the metaverse and then you selling them, right? Then that's different if you selling Jordans for $300 a month in the metaverse. But I'm not about to always be a consumer and continually buying. Like that's what the mindset that I want to help change is being a consumer all the time and learning how to be an investor, learning how this money, how money really works. Because the millennials, they get that. That's one thing I will say. Like these 20 somethings and the 18s and the 19s, like y'all kids, they get that. They playing it. They in it on these video games. They already doing the VR. Like they know all this stuff. So a lot of y'all need to be having a conversation with y'all kid because they know. Go ask your kid where you should be investing in the metaverse. They're gonna tell you, oh yeah, there you go. They got land and plots for sale over here, mom. Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because these kids are in it. They were born in it. They're living it on a day to day. I'm getting ready to get off of here though. It's 12:30. And I gotta do some taxes. Um you say uranium and lithium. I think I got uranium on mine. Because I think my cousin told me he said Ethereum and Cardano, which is ADA. He told me to make sure to get some of that too. I'm still very much new to this, so I'm not giving no kind of investment advice. Definitely go look and do your own research. I am planning on doing another workshop though with a gentleman who's very familiar with the NFTs and the crypto. So I did do one last year called Introductory to Crypto, but I'm going to do another one with with some actual experts who do this on a regular day-to-day basis, because I'm still very much a baby in this. Like I'm still learning. I'm just sticking my hand in the pot. Like I got some Bitcoin, bought some Dogecoin, I got the Shiba Inu. Like I bought some of that stuff just to get in there, but I haven't touched it or really looked at it. It's going up and down. But as far as the metaverse, I do want to at least give me some property in that sucker, like within the next 60 days. I definitely want to buy me a land plot, if anything, because you can't go wrong with that part. She said, Clubhouse signed me up and I got to go sit and learn. I got to order me an Oculus. Everybody keeps saying that. I got to order me one. Oh, that's what's up, Blue on me. Yeah. Somebody who work in the Meta Subway. Girl, yeah, tell them to hook you up with that metaverse job. Oh, right. It is 1:30. You're right. It's 1:30 here. I'm looking at my computer. My computer's still on Chicago time. Oh, yeah. Let me get my butt off here because I got to get up and drive at 8 in the morning. And I still got like some more tax returns to finish sending these people their quotes out. So it's been great. I know originally the whole conversation started off with me with part 2, but that was the whole revelation, right? That was the whole thing, y'all. I just wanted y'all to know and understand like how serious God is a covering and a provider and a protector, even in the craziest situations of life, of business, of knowing people, whatever, right? That through it all, you are still covered and protected, baby. Still covered and protected. So yeah, we are wrapping up. You had to be early out because of the traffic. You know what? I already, matter of fact, I forgot I switched it. Because I didn't want to be driving in that damn traffic. So I told him I would get to him between noon and 1. So he's about 2 hours away from me. So I'm gonna plan to leave my room like 10 or something like that. But yeah, I switched it because I thought about that morning traffic, and I'm like, I ain't got time for that because my flight don't leave till 7. So I am. You say you 1:30 here, right? Oh, her she's talking about the crypto over there. I know, Shannon. I know that it's confusing, but I want to just be honest with you. We gotta learn it. We gotta learn it. I'm gonna be trying to teach as much as I can because I'm learning. I'm around a lot of people who are in it, and actively in it and buying and stuff. But we gotta learn it. We do. Even if it's just from an investment point. Even if I don't plan on living in there, I don't plan on being in that damn matrix system, right? I'm trying to be in the world with real people as long as possible, right? But this is eventually where they trying to go to. So just stay open-minded. Even if you're confused about it, just listen as much as you can, watch as much videos and content on it as you can. But this is what's happening. People are literally making millions of dollars building and being within, this whole metaverse world, right? So again, the whole point is for us not to be the last ones, like always. So I know it's confusing. It's confusing to me with some stuff, but just stay open-minded. Don't get frustrated and just stay open-minded, right? Because buying that land and buying those different plots, just think about it like this. If you had the money to buy a piece of land, but then let's say McDonald's wants to come and build on your land. McDonald's may say, well, we want to buy this land for $500,000. You may have paid $1,000 for that land. Now you're able to sell that land for 500 grand. You get what I'm saying? think that's how the metaverse is. Like if you buy in at this low amount and then as it grows and it keeps market, because right now it's real early still. It's still very early, but they're building buildings on top of that land. So if you buy the land, Nike can come in and say, okay, we want your plot. You got a corner plot right here. We want our Nike store right here. They're gonna offer you some money. You get what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that. Like, and that's what I don't want you missing out on. What did new name say? You do know someone spent 450K to be the neighbor next to Snoop Dogg, right? See, something like that. Somebody spent $450,000 to be the neighbor next to Snoop Dogg in Metaverse, even though they're not physically next to Snoop Dogg, but because Snoop Dogg's house, they bought it. That's what I'm saying. Like it's like instant money. You know what I'm saying? Like instantly. Like if you spend 10 grand for this land, easily you could probably sell it for 100, 150, 200. Like stuff like that. That's how you got to be thinking. That's what I want you to be kind of switching your mindset to. That's what I'm saying. I know as some of us, we were not taught money and investing in opportunities like this, but this is like how this game is played. And no, it's not physical, but this is where it's going. People are treating this like this is some people, just so you got people on the internet right now, that's this all they do on the computer all day is chat and talk to people. Some people live like that. Like some people live in a house. Now, the rest of us are in the world and we out here mingling and striving, but it's a lot of people that's living in their own little internet community. You get what I'm saying? So the Facebook creating this whole thing is going to change the world in the next 10 years. And even if you don't want to do it, it's not necessarily about what you want to do, but it's an investment monetarily. That's how you got to think about it. Like I'm not looking at it from a personal standpoint. I'm not trying to be in that sucker in the club dancing in that little robot body. But if I can own the club that everybody is dancing in, or I can own the land and then the club want to buy the land from me or put their club on my plot and I can make a monthly residual income from it, that's what I'm talking about. You get what I'm saying? That's how you got to be thinking. Because right now you're at the beginning of something that is going to be major. Imagine being at the beginning of Facebook when Facebook first started. Or imagine being at the beginning when TikTok first started and you was an investor. All them people are multimillionaires right now. All them people who got into the game and Facebook and TikTok are multimillionaires right now. Even with Bitcoin. The first few people that paid the little 500 some dollars, Bitcoin has been at 39,000 per coin. Them people became instant millionaires in less than 5 years. So that's what I'm saying. Like you got to be able to take your emotional feeling out of it and understand like the monetary value that it comes from, the monetary value that it brings. So I know it's confusing. We're gonna try to talk about some stuff with it, try to introduce you to some people that's in it, but that's the main thing with it. You get what I'm saying? And it's a lot of free content on YouTube right now. So just keep utilizing what's free. Just keep utilizing the free resources and the free content. I don't know if I got anybody that I'm specifically following. Maybe what I'll try to do is give you a couple of people that I look at and follow. But yeah, it's something that you want to pay attention to. I'm gonna just say that. I get your logic with it, but it's definitely something that you want to pay attention to. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm out. Thank you, Jersey Girl. Thank you, Jersey Girl. Appreciate you. Blue on me. And just put your money in there. You want to start blah blah blah. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. All right, y'all go. That's talking about the course. Yeah, so we should have a course up and ready by Wednesday, if not before the end. Well, Wednesday is the latest that the course should be available for you. So once it is, I'll come back on the course and let you guys know So that way you can click the link and it'll be on the link like everything else. It'll be on my Linktree page. But again, I'll update you. So I'm getting off. Good night. I'm gonna go ahead and file up a couple of these taxes and then get on the road in the morning. So you guys have a good night until we meet again. All right, family. Until we meet again. Have a good night.